Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and tonight we have guest Zenka Caro. She is the author of Joy and Science Behind Spoon Bending and How People Can Contact ETs Using Technology like ham radios, theremins, tube TVs, and old cell phones. Yes, we're talking about bending spoons with your mind. Mind power. Yes, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the extraordinary miracles and events as well. Collective consciousness. Contacting ETs. It's my kind of guest. Definitely very, very paranormal soupy. All mix of different things. I can't wait to talk to her tonight. Of course, we got a lot of weird in the World Wide Web of weird as well. A lot of news stories for that. And then we will open up the phone lines later in the show. Call in. I don't know if she does a live spoon bending thing. I remember when I was a kid. I'll talk about it more tonight. But there was this old, I don't know if anybody else ever saw it. Yuri Geller. Remember him? Bending spoons. Did like a live TV thing. You remember that? And he told everybody, here, hold your spoons. And I swear to God, my spoon did bend some. It did bend during his live thing. And then he had to bring out all these old clocks and watches and see if they would start with the power in my watch started with that show. I swear to God. And I kill watches, usually. I have that weird thing. So I'm totally fascinated by this. You know, ever since I was a kid, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I don't know how many things I try to move with my mind or bend. I did bend some spoons in my day. I swear. Got a lot to get to. So let's go ahead and get rolling into the show. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. Our guest tonight, Zenka Caro, will be joining us after the World Wide Web of Weird, after our first commercial break. Joining me, as always, though, is my beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
Doing well, thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Like we're saying in chat, that's something I could never do. I tried, all the time as a kid and growing up, just focusing, and never had any luck with it. So I'm really excited to hear what she has to say.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I sat many a times trying to make my coffee cup move at this place called Dino's. People who know me, know me personally, and other things. I've tried all kinds of experiments with telekinesis. I was fascinated as a kid with it. Of course, I was. Star Wars, The Force. Think my size matters not. Like Yoda was my man. Come on. I'm totally into this subject, so I can't wait. I don't think we're going to have Rob tonight unless he's running late. I don't have him here, so I need to get the World Wide Web of Weird going here and running. Let me get my share screen going here. For people, so I don't have to say at the end of the show, I don't know if next week we're going to have a show. So this is my birthday weekend. Tomorrow is my birthday. Yes. Yeah, there it is. Okay, we'll hide that for a moment. Tomorrow is my birthday, but I want to have this show tonight. But next Sunday is Father's Day, and I don't have a guest scheduled, and I might spend more that night with my kids. I know my son's probably going to want to stay up late. They're on a summer vacation. So I might skip next Sunday. Don't blame me. It's Father's Day, and I know my boys are going to want to do something. If not, we'll talk about it. Otherwise, we might have open lines. So get that out of there, because I hate saying at the end of the show, if you don't make it, you don't know. All right, we got a lot of weird to get to, so let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, we're going to start off with this story we've covered before, but now they might have an explanation for it. We've covered, I think, a couple years ago about how orcas have been ramming these boats in the ocean. It's becoming like this phenomenon. They've gotten very aggressive. Orca's not a thing to, everyone think they're nice and free willy. Man, that thing, if it wants to hurt you, it really, really can. For those listening in on the Paranormal Soup Radio Network, we are a webcast streaming out to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Oh, there's Rob. I'll get him in here. How's it going, Rob? You're muted.
Hey, Rob.
Now I hear your background noise. You're there, Rob.
There we go.
And
There we
happy
go.
early birthday, Jason. Gemini.
Thank you. Yes. I just realized I forgot to monetize this on YouTube, and I think it's too late for me to go in and do it. You have to like go in when I set that, so I don't know if it'll let people do super chat tonight or not if it's not monetized. I don't know. Should though, right? Even if it's not monetized, they still let people do super chat. You can donate with super chat. Shameless plug. See if it works if you want to donate. I don't know if it does if I don't have the video selected as monetized. I forgot to do that.
I'm trying to see if as an admin I'm able to do anything.
No, you have to go into YouTube and do it, and I forgot to do it. All right, let me stop that screen, pull up yours. All right, let's get on. People don't want to know about the technical stuff. All right, let's see. Scientists might have finally found out why orcas keep ramming into boats. The seaborne animals were first observed deliberately ramming boats back in 2020, and since then it seems to have spread far and wide, with the prominent incidents being reported last year in the waters off of Spain and Portugal. Experts believe that this behavior may have started with an adult female named White Gladys, who survived some sort of traumatic event such as being injured by a collision with a boat. Younger orcas then started to copy her, and the trend spread among the population. Now, according to leading marine biologist Alex Zerbini of the International Whaling Commission, the most likely explanation for the continued attacks is that the young orcas may simply be mimicking the behavior as a form of cultural tradition. Essentially, ramming the boats has become something of a fad for them. Different populations often have distinct dietary specializations maintained by cultural transmissions, and these ecotypes typically have a variety of persistent behavioral traditions related to their divergent foraging. Zerbini and colleagues wrote in a new study into the phenomenon. Some populations may also develop unusual and temporary behavioral fads and other idiosyncrasies that do not appear to serve any obvious adaptive purpose. As with other fads observed in orcas, it's possible that one will simply die out after a while. Okay, let's hope. They think that these orcas just picked it up from one particular orca that had a bad day with a boat, is what they're basically saying. And that it just learned as a behavior. Or is it because we're doing something in the ocean that's completely manipulated them and they're covering up for it? I don't know.
That's more like it.
Conspiracy minds want to know. I don't think it's just orcas doing weird stuff in the oceans.
That's the ticket. They showed a dolphin the other day, because dolphins are another thing that keep washing up right now. I can't remember whose coast it is, but they're blaming. I think the East Coast are blaming wind turbines and all that. But the dolphin I saw looks like it got hit by some buckshot. Didn't look like shark bites or propeller or nothing. I think that one was deliberate, but
oh my
the
God,
gal
you could shoot a dolphin.
There's like all sorts of dolphins washing up.
That's crazy. All right, this next one's even crazier. I always love these ones about police stations, and yes, they're usually in some other country but America, where police, have a haunted police station or something weird going on, and sometimes they abandon them, and that's what happened here in Zimbabwe. Police station. This was from Tim Bindle on Coast to Coast, a shorter article. This is the original one post up here. Police station in Zimbabwe sits abandoned after cops refuse to remain in the building due to what they claim are goblins tormenting them at all hours of the night. According to a local media report, the bizarre case came to light late last month when officers in the community of Bolima informed their superiors of the strange supernatural situation. We built a police station for the officers, and initially they patrolled in pairs, and local officials said, however, they haven't been able to stay for extended periods due to the persistent presence of pernicious entities. Specifically, in the concerned cops explained that they were being harassed by the goblins in the form of physical attacks, doors opening on their own, and things climbing on the roof to the point that they found it impossible to sleep in the building. In a statement or in a testament to how such supernatural entities are taken seriously in Zimbabwe, the officers' superiors pledged that they wouldn't endanger them further and ordered the station to be abandoned. The last attempts to find an alternative base for the police proved futile, leading local officials to express hope that they could somehow convince the frightened cops to come back to the goblin-haunted building. Imagine, culturally, so yeah, they're more acceptance of the phenomenon. But, a lot of money goes into building a police station and having it there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, we kind of need you to go back there. We can't afford to build another, But I would love to know more details about why. I mean, culturally, why there's a cultural reason probably why they go with goblin. But what is more of the phenomenon besides doors and things running around, or let's document. You got security cameras in there, right?
I just like the word goblin.
Me too.
Oh wait, that's the last article.
What is that? That's a wee goblin.
It's a
goblin. I personally like Trolls, the movie Troll from the 80s.
Yeah, the original. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. That's the classic cheesiness of horror of the 80s is very much epitomized in that movie.
The cheesy name Goblin.
But there could be goblins. There could be all kinds of creatures in this.
For sure.
This next video might be a video of something like that. I don't know about this one, so we're going to play this in a second, of a shadow being, and I got this as another Tim Bindle coast to coast, with a tail. Let's see, a weird video, and this is from the Philippines, circulating social media in the Philippines shows what appears to be a shadow person sporting a long tail. Curious piece of footage was reportedly captured by a security camera overlooking a residence in the municipality of Tulsa sometime last week and was posted online this past Sunday by a homeowner, Dennis Colisto. In the video, a diminutive shadow figure can be seen dashing across a balcony in front of a window. While it initially seems to be just a youngster making their way along the landing, one can see that it has a long tail that is revealed just moments before it vanishes from sight. Shortly after being posted online, Calisto's video spread like wildfire on social media in the Philippines, with many viewers suggesting that the figure in the footage was some kind of supernatural being. For this part, the homeowner claimed that he had never seen such a thing picked up on a security system. That said, more skeptical observers have posited that the footage could merely be a clever hoax, or failing that explanation, a little trick of light and shadow that made it appear as if the figure had a tail. Or maybe a dog running next to him. But all right, so Jamie, I know you've looked at a lot of security camera footage. Rob, I know you've looked at a lot of security camera footage. Watch this. Tell me what you think about the lighting on this and the shadow figure, and go ahead and play that paranormal beam footage. See the tail? Real quick. Then it goes back.
For one thing, that's a really expensive, good security camera.
Yes.
For two, it's almost as if they have like a ring light or like another type of light, like production uses outside to brighten that wall so the shadow comes up darker like that. So it could be like a kid running by with a cape or a fake foxtail on.
How's the shadow behind the fence?
Oh,
not on the fence.
Well, that's a chain link fence, right?
It's looks like a kind of picket fence, narrow. Maybe
looks animated to me though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like if that was a shadow of something on that's like blocking the light hitting that wall. Okay, because that's what we'd have to be looking at. Because if that was an actual boy running across there, as this article Tim Bindle says, you'd actually see them. They wouldn't be a dark shadow.
You're talking about the white fence in the front.
Yeah, but if that's a shadow of something, it would be on. You'd see it on the fence. You would think you would see some of that on the fence. You see what I'm saying? So either it's a boy. Yeah, I don't know.
Again, if the light's hitting it, I don't know.
I filter it here on this last one.
Different ways, maybe. It almost looks like something that was like added in though, like a cartoon character like fleeing by.
Is it shenanigans? Or is it like a shadow being with a tail? Or
that
a ghost child with a dog?
That looks too good to be a security camera. I don't see the date, the time. I don't see like any of the stuff that you normally would see on
I think I have a zoom in. There is a date and time. If you go to the original video, I think I zoomed in over it.
Because that's a nice camera.
Yeah, these people have money. This is a nice security system.
Except it's like moving a lot. Like maybe it's a pan tilt. But maybe it's a pan tilt.
It's like, is it one of the Lost Boys? I don't know.
It could be.
This one reminds me like Peter Pan in the shadow and one of the Lost Boys with a tail or something. I don't know.
It does. Like he should have little glasses on and little Harry Potter glasses and a little foxtail.
Then You want to go to Neverland? No. Yee. No.
And someone's been doing that with Phyllis. I don't know. I want to say shenanigans, except for the fact.
I don't know. I mean, it's got a person. It's got provenance.
Shadow. That's got to be a.
I like it because it has provenance. The guy put his name behind it. Says, "Hey, I got this on security camera." You know, it wasn't just a TikTok video.
I'm seeing a lot of people taking provenance for AI videos that they are swearing is real.
True, I agree.
It is not. The trick of the word is it a real image or a real photograph? It could be a genuine AI image, but is it a genuine photograph?
But in a sense, but like you get what I'm saying, though. At least it has some kind of provenance.
Yeah.
Instead of just some random video online, we don't know where it's taken, who took it, or what happened. There's a story and there's a person, you know? So I like that, and it's interesting to me. I don't know what it is. All right, let's move on. This I don't have the video of because it's a TMZ exclusive. This next one is UFO captured on camera over New York during Blue Angels in Air Show. Unexplained Mysteries has this article. Well, you can watch the video. Have you guys seen it?
This is a trip because it's not a drone. People are going to think it's a drone. It moves way too fast to be a bird.
Way too fast.
Like that. Way too fast to even be like another one of their aircrafts, I think.
Right. Well, if you watch the video TMZ shows, and like I said, I can't show it, but if you show, we see the video from TMZ, if you watch it, they have to really, really slow it down, almost to frames, to catch this thing because it's going by so fast. And it's like silverish, but I don't think that could be a bird. I don't think it, only one explanation, maybe it's a bug that's closer, making it think it is, but I don't think it's a bug. It doesn't move like that. It's something weird. The sighting, which reported The sighting, which was reported to the National UFO Reporting Center, occurred during an air show featuring the Blue Angels, the U.S. Navy's famous flight demonstration squadron. The object itself made a brief appearance in the footage of a Boeing FA-18 Super Hornet. From a stated location above, looking very high in the sky, approximately 36,000 to 41,000 feet high, the report reads, looking westward from my location, tracking it going north by northwest by eye. So they not only could they see this by camera, so that really rules out the bug thing. They were seeing this with their eyes. Going very fast for a craft that high, no trails seen, vividly tracked visually for about 9 seconds, because it's really in and out. Then saw it take an immediate and distinct 90-degree turn downward to about 18,000 feet within 2 to maybe 3 seconds, distinctly able to follow it visually that level when it simply disappeared. Sadly, the video clip only offers a very fleeting glimpse of the object. Given its alleged speed and maneuverability, it seems unlikely this was a drone, leaving a big question mark over exactly what it could have been. And if it was an aircraft, the person inside would be jelly from those kind of G-force turns.
Yeah.
So it's interesting these things show up during, it's Blue Angels, it's not technically, it is the military. I'm just saying, like, we're going to get more of these kind of things showing up with military exercises, too, I think.
They just had it during, the Royals.
Oh, yeah, we covered that.
Yeah, it starts to see, I can't think of the commencement.
Mm-hmm. During Prince or King Charles's commencement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was another Blue Angels from like a year ago or something like that, where there was another, and I think it was the same coast. We get ours out here in October.
All right, let's go on to the next one here. We're going to run out of time. Veterans left struggling after work at secretive Area 52, not 51, made them sick. You most likely have heard Area 51. What about Area 52? This is a name assigned to a highly secretive U.S. military installation situated around 70 miles to the northwest of Groom Lake in Nevada, also known as Tonopah Test Range, or Tonopah, if I said that right, test range. The base is generally believed to be in use today as a nuclear weapon delivery system research, storage, and testing facility. Hear that? Remember how Area 51 got exposed? It's the same way. Lawsuits because people were so sick because, well, we don't want our EPA or people knowing how our military is just, getting rid of their nuclear waste. So they dump them off at these secret bases, and these guys get really sick. Mark Eli, if you say his name, Eli, former Air Force technician who once worked there on these jets on the site, has since revealed that in later years he has suffered from a myriad of health problems as a result of exposure to radiation from various types of nuclear tests that have been going on there. Upholding the national interest was more important than my own life, he told CBS News. It scarred my lungs. I got cysts on my liver. I started having lymphomas, tumors inside my body, and they had to be removed. My lining in my bladder was also shed. The problem is made much worse by the fact that he's unable to request health care assistance from the government because, as far as they are concerned, none of it ever happened. He even signed a non-disclosure agreement to that effect at the time he was working there. Eli isn't the only former Area 52 worker to be suffering from radiation exposure. Dave Crete, who worked as a military police officer at the site, was also exposed to the same radiation, now has multiple health issues ranging from breathing problems to tumors. With billions of dollars in federal assistance has been made available to other government employees who worked at the base, this particular group of men is simply ineligible due to the secret nature of their work. I'm telling you, that's what when people talk about when they were talking about storing Area 51, I'm like, you better bring a radiation suit. Area 52, too. They have a lot of these black sites where they're dumping their nuclear waste from military projects they don't want to report or tell.
Remember Anthony got sick from something he touched?
Dulce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At Dulce, which there's still no confirmation of an underground base there, and I don't know if we'll get that. But something did. I think, he sounded like a neurotoxin with him, like somebody purposely poisoned him. That wasn't radiation. That sounded like what Anthony had was like if I remember, it was like a neurotoxin. I think they even did blood work to prove that somebody tried to kill him when he was out there. That's oh my God. UFO Highway, Anthony Sanchez. Check it out. All right, let's move on. All right, because we're going to run out of time here. We only got a few more minutes. We got another politician coming out on their UFO thing. This is an Argentine politician. There's another Tim Binnell. Raised eyebrows in his country when he revealed a vivid UFO encounter that he experienced years ago. Deputy Mayor of the city of Cordoba, Javier Preto, reportedly shared the remarkable account during a recent television interview where he was asked about all things aliens. In response to what was likely meant to be a lighthearted question, the politician offered a surprising reply. Not only do I believe I've seen them, we are friends. Preto explained that his certainty about otherworldly visitors is based on experience that he had during his term as mayor of the city of Carolada around a decade ago. The politician recounted how a visiting Tibetan monk took him and some friends out to the country of Mount Uritikrato on a mission, I'm still butchering these, to go see these special beings. As the group stood on a sizable stone, he said a light resembling a white oval suddenly appeared before them. It was soon joined by an additional illumination which formed a cluster resembling 5 rings. Preto and his friends, he recalled, stood in awe as the illuminations hovered above them before ultimately disappearing in about 15 minutes. Upon returning to their hotel following the astounding experience, he said the monk indicated that the eerie aerial anomalies were an evolved race of peaceful special beings. The event was so transformative for Preto, he told the program's host that he later took his son to a different mountain in the hopes of meeting these entities again. And on that occasion, they witnessed an extraterrestrial city by way of a portal that provided a glimpse of an apocryphal underground community known as Urks. This guy gets really deep. Like, he didn't hold back. Just got to ask these guys, right? They'll just tell you. That's in Argentina, But we are getting people here more coming out. But I'm telling you, we're going to get more of this, more of these politicians eventually here. But other countries are going to talk about their experiences. Take us to your leaders. Just don't take them to ours.
Yeah.
And last up, we only got a minute to talk about it. I don't have time to read the article. Let's move to the last one really quick, and then I think I don't have to say too much on this. Hami Musan. Hami Musan claims there's 3 more non-human entities he has found, or have been found. He hasn't found them. I don't have time to read this article, but yeah, Hami is saying he's got 3 more, even though people have looked at these things have said they're mummies. They're like human mummies that have been manipulated to be alien. I don't know. I've had guests on this show that have met Hami and know Hami and say he's a really great guy, real nice. I'm sure he could be. But I swear he somehow gets caught up in these things that I just think are hoaxes. And some things I know are actual hoaxes. I've been, totally proven. Is this totally proven? I don't know. But Barry Fitzgerald and Steve Mera had on, I think, really did great analysis on this when they went down there to check these things out. And, yeah, I don't think they're aliens. But Hami's going to keep finding more bodies, I guess. Or people are going to keep giving them to him, and he's going to buy it. I don't know. But that's it for the World Wide Web of Weird.
I saw the article and I saved it, but I didn't even bother to read it.
Our guest tonight, though, very interesting woman here. We're going to have Zenka Caro, the joy and science behind spoon bending, and how people can contact ETs using technology like ham radios, theremins, tube TVs, and old cell phones. Well, I mean, we've used old cell phones, don't we? With like the spirit boxes. And I always say, not just the spirits we might be reaching with those things. We might be getting aliens. I've said, I wonder. Collective unconsciousness, we could really touch or get anything. So tonight, join us after this short commercial break with Zenka Caro, the joy and science behind spoon bending, when we come back from the short commercial break.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Of the second kind, physical evidence of a UFO. Close encounters of the third kind, contact. From Steven Spielberg, the director of Jaws, comes one of the most ambitious and unusual films ever made. And what you will see has never been seen before. It's a cosmic mystery crossing what many scientists believe will be the next threshold of human experience. It is called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It begins in an Indiana town and leads to one inescapable conclusion. We are not alone. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Certificate A. Now showing at the Odeon, Leicester Square.
The international chart-topping, Haunted, Horror of Haverfordwest has been described as terrifyingly real, a must-read, shocking and chilling brilliance, genuinely worrying, utterly frightening. Don't read before bed. Described as one of the spookiest writers out there, best-selling author G.L. Davies presents Haunted, Horror of Haverfordwest. The true paranormal account that is shocking the world. Dare you enter? Dare you read? Haunted, Horror of Haverfordwest is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and wherever books are sold. Pray you never have to live there.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles above the Earth. No one winds up this timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery, the Duracell battery, can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe. 5 by 5.
Tonight on Paranormal Soup, our guest is Zenka Caro. Zenka is the founder of LightNet, a collective intelligence think tank centered around consciousness. Caro is a pioneer in the mind over matter consciousness research. She's an expert in spoon bending and electromagnetic radio, ham radio contact with ETs and past loved ones. She's passionate about blending science and spirituality and has been working in the frontier technology for over 20 years running software development companies and working in augmented reality. Carl loves strategic planning for our best future and is an inspirational speaker on the TEDx stage and beyond. I've always wanted to get somebody on to talk about mind over matter, spoon bending, moving objects from your mind, miracles, synchronicities, these contacting ETs. Look, I mean, I swear, when we do these live spirit box nights, our possibilities of contacting extraterrestrials are about as good as we're contacting dead loved ones. And we've definitely contacted dead loved ones. We've had a lot of evidence of that on this show. I definitely think we could contact ETs with it. I've always said that. So we get her, what she's done on that research-wise. Later in the show, we'll open up the phone line so you can call in and join this conversation. But let's go ahead and get to our guest. All right, I think we got our guest in the waiting room. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
We're going good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm here with Adam Kopel, who also works in the Starseed Academy as our lucid dreaming professor, and he's also the chief engineer of the Dream Machine.
Oh, I hear some kind of like, I don't know what I'm hearing in the background. It sounds like a chicken.
Actually, the radios are already going off. We always have.
Well, they might if you use them here. They might because they know we do it live here. Yeah. We do it live. We do. I have it all set up to I do it like closed audio with the audience. Like it's pumping through my mixing boards. Talk about whatever device, electronic you want to use, and we've seen it manipulate it. I think they, spirit, consciousness, ETs, they can manipulate any of that stuff.
Yeah, you were mentioning on the intro that you were contacting past loved ones, and we had the same question. Can you use the radios to do ETs and past loved ones? And
I think so.
We did a test, and we started asking them, who are you? And we're working with Ricky Stiles, who built phone apps that he uses to contact past loved ones, and we used it for aliens. But we asked, we tried to bring in angels, didn't really work. We tried to bring in ETs, and it worked. So, and they were like, oh yeah, we're 3 ETs, we're from Andromeda. We had this full conversation. It was interesting.
We got to do a night like that. We've done it. We let people call in because one of the reasons I started doing this show 9 years ago, because I got with these two right here, Jamie and Rob. We got into ITC and we started doing these together. I wanted to do a show where people could call in and they talk to it and see if their loved ones come through.
Yeah.
And we need to do a night where we just focus on aliens. We're going to make contact with aliens. We're going to have to do a night of that.
Those are probably your relatives as well. Oh, and by the way, your call number 444, that's like my magic number. And if it's 4 fours rather than 3 fours, it's even a huger number.
It's always been my number.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my symbol that there's a collaboration that the universe wants to bring together. It's like a matchmaking service for collaboration. They're like, oh, talk to the person. People say like, my phone number is 444. They'll say, oh, I woke up remember that one night they were like, oh, I woke up at 444 last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal to us. Their number's great. Cool.
Yeah, number coincidences all the time. You look at the clock, people say they see 111 or 222. I get that stuff. And there's supposed to be messages. I just don't have the memory to remember what the message is. Oh, yeah, it's a 222.
Because I think that's a sign when you first started awakening, I saw 111 everywhere. It was like, to a certain point.
Yeah. 111 was definitely early 20s for me when I was definitely getting deep in stuff. I would see it a lot. I still do, though, here and there. I asked, are you using the microphone on the laptop?
We're using this one, but let me make sure that we are.
Yeah, because it's kind of like echoey.
Because do we need a headphones?
I don't know if you both can do headphones or not.
Yeah.
I'm not like getting echo from your speakers or anything like that. It just seems like it's like echoey in the room, maybe.
Yeah. Do you have a splitter on the altar? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we like to do binaural beats at the same time with multiple.
Oh yeah.
People. So having a splitter to have two people engaged in one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're getting set up.
I never assume people have all the audio splitters and stuff that I do.
We've been doing this. Oh, now it's good. We've been doing this thing called Mind Spa, and it will synchronize the left. Oh, well, we're hearing an echo even worse.
Are you getting an echo?
Yeah, this is going to be maddening. So let's figure this out. Okay. But anyway, tell us let's have people. I can't wait for the call in. Let's have people call in. I am.
We'll do that. I want to get the chance to talk to you after the next commercial break. We'll open up the phone lines.
Yeah.
But we'll hopefully get the echo. I don't hear echo on my end. Like our audio going out to everybody, there's no echo. But you might be getting it. I don't know. Are you echoing yourself? You're hearing yourself echo?
I know what it was. We had two of you opened.
Oh,
we had your live
two browsers.
Because I was checking you out earlier. Okay.
Yep. That's not a first. That is not a first.
Yeah, it was about an 8-second delay. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, that was.
It's like, are we communicating with spirits now?
Totally.
It can happen. We've actually had it live on this show many years ago when we first started doing this. And we were doing a live show. We had Steve Huff on here who does a lot of that stuff. This is many years ago. And we had Katrina Cooper on, who was one of my friends as a medium. I swear she's like a battery for this stuff. And her friend Rhodey called in and was asking for her friend to come through and say their nickname. And sure enough, not out of Steve's spirit box, because he has reverb and echo, and you can tell when it comes out of it. This is just direct through the audio of the whole show. It said peanut butter and jelly, and it said it more than once, and it was, clear as day, directly through the audio of the show.
That's what we've had a similar experience in. We think of these radios as a permission portal. So there's not supposed to be that much. Well, we've really been obsessed with collaborating with the other side. So we give what we call a permission portal. So we say, like, you can use this, even though it's not really, maybe it's against rules, maybe it's not, for them to talk to us, but we have to agree to it, or it's better if you do. You say, I'm calling my grandma. Her name is Marie.
It's like intent.
Yeah, and it's the phone call. It's like the fax machine, both in our agreement, and then the communication can happen much more easily. But we're really excited about collaborating with the other side, with ETs, with our higher selves, with past all past loved ones. Definitely, it's.
If you guys want to try to do it later, Rob, I don't know how late you're sticking around. Rob can run it, or I can run it. We have stuff hooked up like that for the show. Usually, we can do it. If you guys want to try some of that stuff out, maybe our collective energy.
Yeah,
we're all believers that it can do this. We'll reach some aliens tonight.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's also what we're really interested in, is collective groups coming together to say, let's do something together, because that's what we're not good at quite yet, is collaboration. But that's what the universe is asking us to do well right now. So we love intentions experiments. I mean, yeah.
Totally.
Talk
Well,
about what happened.
Did you? I don't know if you heard me at the beginning of the show when I was a kid. Remember that? I don't know if you ever saw that. Uri Geller did this live event on TV.
Yeah.
You know, it was live, millions of audience viewers. Where he's gonna, tells the audience, hold your spoon, we'll bend the spoon. And I swear to God, my spoon did bend. It did bend. And then they had like, everybody get your old watches and stuff that don't work. We're gonna make them start. And I swear to God, it started ticking.
Wow.
It died not much later, but like it got a little juice.
That's amazing. We've been working with clocks a little bit and having a hard time, but that's amazing to have you telling this story of how even through the television, and that was a very tumultuous time for him, because this is also not like a perform on demand circus situation. This is way more deep and interesting than that.
I always compare it to the Warner Brothers cartoon. I think it's Warner Brothers, the frog. The hello, my baby, hello, my darling. The guy's like, look, it can dance. He brings out the frog after he hears it singing tune to other people, and it's just a dead frog. That is the paranormal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is psychokinetic powers. That's all of it. Like you try to show somebody it's a dead frog.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's try to use it for our own like research and curiosity and connection with the other side, instead of like, hey, instead of, I should finish my sentence, instead of, hey, you don't believe in the paranoia because you can't see it and touch it. But that's one of the things we've loved about the radio research. And who knows if they'll come through tonight? Who knows if whoever wants to make the connection, right? We get out of the way. But it's interesting how I don't know, they want to communicate with us. And it's interesting that Uri Geller really started this from the beginning. And he's just saying, yeah, like anyone can do this. Anyone can bend a spoon. Anyone can talk to their dead grandmother. And we can do it really well in groups, we've found. So you're right. Like more people that intend something together, it gets really cool.
My dad, who is more of an analytical kind of person, very scientific, but he's open-minded person, though. I will say that. He's still very open-minded to these things, even though he's very scientific. I remember when that Uri Geller thing, he's like, Johnny Carson showed, that he was full of it. Because remember, there's a classic Johnny Carson episode.
That's what I was.
So I've been fascinated after that event with Uri Geller. I've been fascinated before it too about collective unconsciousness and the power of people coming together and changing reality. So I had that TV event, millions of viewers. I witnessed the spoon bend. That Uri Geller was not standing in my room bending that spoon.
Wow.
We're using some magic to do that. It was my argument to my dad. But he's like, well, Johnny Carson really kind of proved it. Johnny Carson was a magician, so he like supposedly set up stuff that he felt that no way that Uri Geller could do any kind of shenanigans. And that's what really stopped it. But was it that? I've always wondered, the reason Uri Geller kind of biffed on that Johnny Carson episode is he's sitting next to Johnny Carson, who's already making jokes about it, who's already set things up, I'm saying, like, and in Johnny Carson's mind, there's no way this guy's doing this. I got him. And the audience's mind. This is 70s, late 70s or 80s. I can't remember when it was that he did this episode. But the expectation is this guy's going to totally whiff. The jokes were set up. I'm saying he's going to whiff. And he did. Maybe it's the expectation that affected Uri Geller that night.
Oh, 100%. I've done several of the events where for some reason nothing's happening. And, this is something that I can commonly do. So I'll be asking, going through myself, like, what's going on? What's going on?
Right.
And then we go around the room and it'll be like this lady over here in the corner was like, yeah, I was super distracted. There was no way it was going to happen. And I'm like, okay, I was picking up on her and it was affecting my own performance.
Right. Like,
totally. I've witnessed it. I've experienced it. Yeah.
I wrote a short story. I wish I still had it when I was a kid on this premise that there was this magician that was really doing real magic, and the way it worked for him, he discovered it was like my own little ripoff of Amazing Story. Remember the old Amazing Stories show, TV show, and the short tales. That was my kind of writing of that. But this magician could make things happen to his audience and all that. Everybody, he could literally do all this, start doing more and more stuff he found if he could make everybody believe it's a trick. Everybody in the audience, okay, you get a hat. You got the big black hat. Everybody in the audience is expecting a white bunny rabbit to come out of that hat. Do you need the bunny rabbit? If they're all expecting that, it can change reality. Have a big enough audience, and he pulls the bunny rabbit out of the hat. That was the story, like he had no bunny rabbit. The audience just expected it so much, he pulled the bunny rabbit out.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And we have people that are not ready for that reality, just like you said, they don't believe, and you have to put them next to spoon benders. So Uri Geller is beyond a doubt completely extraordinary. So he would get paid $1 million to walk out of his house to find oil and gas and minerals for companies. He worked for three, the U.S. Secret Service, the
Mossad.
Yeah, the Mossad, Israel and England, took no money from any of them and could remote view anything. So his abilities were established. And I think you're right. When we can build consensus reality around anything,
yes,
then that is the experience that you get. And that's why ETs are happening, is because everyone in the collective wants to experience this narrative.
It's consensus reality. I love that term.
Yeah, we have to reevaluate it.
But the consensus reality could stop the supernatural and miraculous.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because the consensus reality, it's Schrodinger's cat. In quantum physics, is the cat alive or dead? And my expectation, or all of our expectations together, is going to determine the fate of that cat in that quantum event.
Yeah.
Yeah, and consistent. Another thing that's happening that's really kind of an anomaly is if we say the word sixth sense, right? So 25 years ago, that was kind of a mysterious woo-woo thing. And now it's commonly accepted. However, because it's supported by consensus reality, about 9 extrasensory perception fields are now the sixth sense. So your ability to see into the future, your ability to read somebody's mind, your ability, I can go on and on and on. And now all of those, instead of saying maybe we have 15 senses, consensus reality has now grouped them into one thing called the sixth sense.
It's like calling it the Force. I like to call these things the Force. I'm a big Star Wars fan. That's how I look at it. I've written on the census before that I believed in Jediism was my religion, Like, when I was a kid, the Force made way more sense to me than anything I was getting told religiously. And I sat there as a kid trying to, move stuff with my mind, because, Yoda told me, size matters not.
Right.
So cool.
Right, and then Russell Targ proved it, right?
Mm-hmm.
More so than any other thing in the history of science. And yet there's still skeptics, and we're still pushing forward to bend that consensus reality.
You know how I knew when I was a kid, when I started really getting into this, I used to read books no other kids were reading. And is the fact that the CIA and the KGB spent tons of money and time on telekinesis. The Russians had a lady who could stop a frog's heart. That we spent millions and millions of dollars on it, up until the 90s when Congress is like, it's Satan's work. And then we were like, okay, we won't do that anymore. And we still are. But they wanted to see, of course, the dark side of things, if they could stop somebody's heart with the mind or do weird stuff like that, like that. If they are, these hardline, people in the CIA, which, I don't get me started on the CIA or people in the KGB spent this much time on it, they obviously believe there's something to it.
Right. And that's where we come in and you come in, because you've already bent consensus reality into a quantum looking thing. Like, well, who's ever observing it, whoever is experiencing it, like we can decide what is acceptable. We can decide whether someone can bend a spoon or not. We can decide if someone, all of it. But I think you're right. It's like we've got to put all this research into the hands of the people. And that's why LightNet is a nonprofit, Starseed Academy, what we're doing. And we're actively researching applied research in what we call lucid living, which is because it's not about the spoon. It's about us building a better world, using our consciousness to dream that we can. And it's the matrix moment. It's the matrix moment where you go, okay, we can lucid live. And that's where Adam's research is centered around. And it makes us very curious. And we need to have an open data commons to bring people together, which we do in our labs, to research this, to figure it out.
Yeah. You need people together.
Yeah.
I think the more people you have collectively that have an openness to this, the better the results too.
Especially when you share the results. I mean, talk about some of your labs that you've been running on lucid living, because this is it's like we decided that the spoon bent. That's why it bent.
Right. So one of the ways that I can describe lucid living to anybody that's not familiar with the concept is when we have a lucid dream, we're actively using our consciousness to create an experience, and that experience represents itself as a world. So we have a lucid dream, we're running, flying over a jungle. We've created that experience with our consciousness. And in dreaming awake, we suggest that we can do the similar thing in creating our experience with our consciousness with eyes wide open.
I tell you what, I've had a couple lucid dreams in my life, and I've tried to induce them and all that, but it is the most incredible experience. If you've never had a lucid dream, when you do, it will blow your mind. It makes you change your idea of reality and what it is and what you can do. And it made me fascinated. I think I was really young when I had my first lucid dream. I was a kid. And of course, first thing I did was fly. And that's what I always do end up doing in my lucid dreams. But then a movie came along that made me think, wow, they get it, is What Dreams May Come. Cool. Robin Williams, because in that he paints his own reality. Right. He was as a hobby he was a painter, so his reality is like a painting. But in a sense, that's what it is. It's like, his expectation of his afterlife is his afterlife.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell him about Coffee's lab?
About channeling the
about the levitation lab.
Oh no, please.
Okay, so my son is 10 years old, and he was like, oh, my 2 missions in life is to be inside of a cloud and to fly. And I was like, oh, cool. Because LightNet, the nonprofit that I'm running, is doing a levitation lab, and you can have the flying lab.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Coffee Rain, she's a professor at our academy. She's our operations manager. She's going to be turning 24, and she does these placeholders for people's manifestations, and she draws. Her brain is like, she draws all sorts of stuff, aliens, everything. Yeah. And she is running the levitation lab because it's her dream and mission in life is to expand what we believe is possible about ourselves by making levitation accessible, by creating a belief around it. So Nassim Harriman has levitated. We just met another person that's levitated. Or Michael McPherson levitated. There's all these people that we met another girl coming out of this in Ibiza. We're just in Ibiza, and like this girl is on a board of directors. She walked out of the library or the elevator and was like, "Oh yeah, I just talked to my levitation professor." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh yeah, he's 95 years old. We just meditate together. We don't even talk. We meditate twice together." But he's
I'm like, "What do you go to Hogwarts? What school do you go to?" Levitation professor. I'm like, "I want to go."
Well, Starseed Academy. We're opening our research labs at September 15th. With
that is awesome.
Yeah,
you have a 10-year-old.
Yeah, and they say that kids are born differently, and they are. Like, he's very awake.
I think my kids are, especially my 8-year-old. I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old, and later now I'll get into some of the past life stuff with him and all that. But he's somebody I think would be like total. You got to have Starseed Academy for kids.
We do. We want to.
Yes.
We don't yet. We've done a little bit, but we want to because they know how
little
to do
Jedi
it.
Padawans.
All the kids go to our spoon bending parties because they're the ones that can bend because they don't have all this confining beliefs that
exactly.
It's so great.
Yeah.
But
that's exactly it.
But so we take a like a twist on the normal Hogwarts or normal programs because we flip the whole classroom. So in other words, we do research, like we do off-planet remote viewing. We don't teach you to remote view. We teach you to be a team of 12 people and go remote view planets together and compare notes, like with Alan Steinfeld. So it's coming together to research the unknown. Like his is waking induced lucid dreaming. So it's a step before lucid dreaming. You can tell them about the stuff. I mean, we've manifested I manifested a talk with Uri Geller. Tell them about that.
Oh my God, that's a dream. That's a dream interview for me, by the way.
I know, me too.
So in the course, one of the things we did to start introducing lucid living was called blooms. And a bloom is to bring something small and simple into existence, but do it in such a way so you could say, in the next week, I'm going to see red balls. And you start counting how often you see them. And there's a point where you begin to realize I'm making that happen. And so we did red balls. Someone else in the purple cars, like
what they call it would be called the blue car syndrome. You know, the classic blue car syndrome. Like you see one blue car, now you start to see all these blue cars.
It works. We've manifested crazy stuff.
So we did blue bears. So and everyone saw blue bears that week.
And the whole team.
So there was a point that I said, maybe we're ready to graduate into let's do something real this week. And I said, what do you want? And it was a Sunday. And she said, well, I want 100 people to show up to this event. And I want Uri Geller's phone number. And a week to the day, she had 100 people in the event. And I've got a picture of her on Zoom with Uri Geller.
That's even awesome. A week later on a Zoom talking to him.
A week later, within a week.
So what was that like with Uri Geller? How was he?
So it was actually, we were contacting him about a couple things that Carolyn Corey was working on. If I guess I can say this, I think she was working. We were excited about teleportation, right? Moving objects from one place to another. And so she wanted to talk to him about coming and talking to, because, in that Gaia film, he actually teleports from
I was just going to say,
right?
You're right.
Yeah, but he was really interesting when we talked to him. So he's impressed with the spin bending lab. He's very excited about it. I was actually going to go out to see him. But right now, he's in his museum. And all these people from all over the world are getting to touch objects from the Beatles that teleported, his car with all of the spoons on it. So it's like, this is a part of his life where, and I think, he's really got a lot to give, and he's been one of my heroes because he was so unique. I mean, he didn't care. He started bending spoons after he was in a park where this huge white light appeared, and he fell back and he ran home, and then his spoons started melting. And instead of running away from it, like most of the world has done, they push it under the bed. Like, I'm not talking about this. He leaned into it. And look at what he's done for our consciousness and our creating, breaking. That's what we all need to do collectively right now. Decide how we want the world to be, focus our energy, and make it happen, because our consciousness is already in control. And when we're healed, we create galactic renaissance, not nightmares. So we just have to just dream this into being the world we want. And he taught us that you can do that. He taught you can stop and watch. We just got back from a party.
Or start one.
Yeah, there was 8 clocks on the wall. I forgot to tell you this. And one of the clocks was backwards. The writing on the clock was backwards, and the clock was going backwards. It was the only clock that was moving, and it was going backwards. It was just beautiful. So yeah. So that's what we're doing, the Dream Machine, and Adam's actually heading up the Dream Machine. But
the Dream Machine, you call it the Dream Machine. I had one of my short stories when I was a kid. I was trying to make a story, and I called it the Dream Machine. Was about they make a lucid dreaming machine that puts people in a lucid state. And I've always still wanted to get back into writing that.
444. Oh, wow.
I've always had this in my imagination, this story, and I've never gotten it totally right, and I want to retry writing it. But it's an idea I had called the Dream Machine, where people invent a machine that puts people into a lucid state. But what they discover is it starts putting them into other realms and consciousness. You'll hear it in the tagline. When I was a kid, you want to know what movies I liked? I am not your normal kid. You know what one of my favorite movies was, and probably should have never watched as a kid because it's definitely not kid appropriate. Was Altered States. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you better get her. You better get her and right with that.
Yeah,
you better get her. You better go get. I got a copy of it on DVD, man.
Yeah.
I remember showing that to my cousin Phil and his wife, and they just looked at me like, "What the heck, dude? Like, what is wrong with you?" I'm like, "What? This is really a masterpiece of a movie. Altered states. We're going deep into the mind and human evolution and consciousness. Basically." I've always been fascinated with the final frontier isn't space or the oceans or whatever. To me, it's here in the mind. That Altered States is one of those movies that dwelled into that. Also, Dreamscape. You'll hear that commercial in the tagline I'll play, where people can travel through dreams into other people's dreams. I've had that experience. People have shared. There's so many things as a kid that it's always been about consciousness and what we can do, and. That when you said Dream Machine, I was like, man, that was the title. That was the thing. And when I heard before this show, when I read your description that you were in augmented reality, I was like, like if you have that ability, I'm saying we could do things that induce and alter people's minds with light and sounds and augmented reality.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited about that. We have ideas to want to do that stuff, and we're going to make it happen using the Dream Machine. So the Dream Machine is an experiment in economy, and it's an experiment of lucid living. So not only can we dream the life we've always wanted to live with our brain, we're actually going to do it in real life by merging like the success ratio of this project. So a part of it's consciousness, where we use people in biofeedback, shared alpha feedback, or in intention circles of 9. And Lynn McTaggart just started some too called the Revolution 8. But we also actually build our dreams in real life. And you can tell them about how it's set up and how projects come in and what happens.
Right. So it's a prototyping mechanism, and a project will come in and it gets evaluated as far as has it ever been done. Yeah. If it's been done, then we help connect those people as best we can with people that are already doing that work, so we don't duplicate efforts. But if it's never been done, then we run them through a model that looks at what types of resources they need. And a lot of times money is right at the very end. Like, they need an accountant to look over their project plan. They need a lawyer to figure out if what they're doing is going to fit a patent search, and so on and so forth. And then at the end, we seek funding. And at that point, we'll take that idea with all the resources that are required into this group intention experience. And we'll dream it into existence.
And they're community templates that if we test it here in Sedona, then you can use it, Jason, and someone else can use it. So these are us building stuff that we need and want and love, and then sharing the know-how with other people so that we can do it all faster and the Renaissance can really get started.
It's like a manifestation. It's kind of like what you're doing. You're doing a manifestation.
Oh, yeah.
It is. And they range from large-scale community works projects all the way down.
Microscopes.
Microscopes, scientific tools, a fashion lab that repurposes used clothing. There's nothing that we won't look at. And we believe that the templates that we create help communities come together and experience what's truly possible in this new age that we're entering.
There could be a Tesla out there. There could be Da Vinci, but there's billions of people, and they're smothered by that. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting the resources or the things. So that's great. You could get somebody out there that could be a real cause a renaissance with something. That's incredible.
Right.
Yeah, and your story getting that done is so beautiful because that's part of this. It's like, could life be so good? Could everyone get paid to do what they love?
And your story could be more than a story. I mean, we could put that idea of yours into the
I'm telling you,
machine as an invention.
I've thought about these things. I'm not a technical person. I mean, I am. I can set up a show, live stream, and phone calls and but I'm not a total technical person. But I've always dreamed of something where I remember, John Lennon was into this, the binaural beats, remember, and stuff like this, but where we could sync people up, put them in an augmented reality, okay, to start giving them things that we've tested or known that put you into an alpha state. We put everybody in a synchronized alpha state, get their harmonical binaural beats all lined up. And we find them when they're at that sync point, and we get them into that consciousness. And we can even use things like the isolation tanks, like they make you feel like you're floating.
Can you believe Faraday cages?
And Faraday cages. We can put these people man. If you gave me the when I was in grade school, they called me the mad scientist. That was my nickname. That tells you anything about me. I'm a big sci-fi fan. But we put everybody in these isolation chambers, but they're all grouped together, and we sync them together with the same sounds, music, whatever it is, maybe visual things. But we get them in, or this isolation, we let them see if they can have a shared experience, a consciousness.
Well,
everybody can take notes when they're done and everything, but we could record it. We could record the sounds because people talk, and sometimes when they're in these isolation tanks and stuff, and maybe you could communicate together. I don't know. There'd be so much I would want to experiment with if I could.
Okay, Jason, you have to come to Sedona. So
we can't give everything away, but what can I do?
We can talk about it.
You add to.
We can talk later if you want.
No,
it's
cool.
Public.
No, it's cool. I'll let her drive part of it. So I'm not going to say everything, but what I can tell you is the software for that system has been finished, and it's in progress. That's
what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's
happening.
In his class, we don't even call it class. We got to get out of this languaging. But in his Waking Lucid Dreaming, starting again in July, the final class, we got together and we said that we wanted to wire 8 people together in shared alpha feedback.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it's happening. Here's the dream. Let's share the dream. Let's all hold this. So Jim of BioCybernet, James Hart, Dr. James Hart, who's been training people to get into alpha. So it's like a monk can spend 40 years to get into alpha.
Right.
But if you put your brain in 1 week in a dark room with you listening to it. So if you make alpha, it goes if you make alpha, it goes So you're listening. Right. In 1 week, you can achieve a lot.
That's awesome.
So he was in his class along with 2 of the other people that run his thing with him.
Yeah.
And we said we want to do a buy share thing. And he's like, oh, I've done that once before. And it was really cool with 2 people. So
they
we
could
decided
read each other's minds.
In the dream, in this class, we said we want to get it funded so we can get 8 people to test 3 projects in the dream machine. They dream it into existence. We want to make a film about it. So any filmmakers that are listening, we want to make a film about it. We want to use Delta Dreamers, which are the same as Alpha, but without bio and shared feedback. They just dream awake. They're very unusual people, very rare. And then we're going to use a Rodan coil, which we're filming on Wednesday to show you guys how to do it.
Yep.
So Michael Ray developed a technology where it's
human technology.
You don't need all this expensive EEG. It's 9 people together in interlocking Rodan coil as if the copper is their arms. And we measured it. He did it 3 times. The water in the center of the circle was 95% more electrically conducive.
After the experiment.
And tell them what happened with the water lab.
Yeah, and so...
This is a dream come true. This is literally a dream come true.
Glenn Ryan, an older scientist with an incredible track record, he was in town and he said, I really want a lab where I can focus on, this life's work contribution in energetics and genetics. And there's this young man in his early 20s that said, I really want to be a scientist. And it was Michael Ray,
the guy that invented this technology,
developed the coil. the human base
Dream
coil
Machine.
and in the Dream Machine. And we said, let's do it. Let's do it and bring your lab into existence. 8 months later, their lab is in existence and it's been funded through the Dream Machine.
So they're getting full-time salaries to be scientists and to study water with all the equipment that they need. So this was just some harebrained dream of like, oh, I wish with my best wish of the wish if I could do anything, if everything was perfect. And it actually just happened. So we want to share this concept with everyone listening. And we want to share this video of how to do 9 people. So you just call your 8 friends, and you dream your lucid dreaming. So we're actually going to make the lucid dream real.
Yeah.
By force, by doing it like this, but also using quantum principles until we all can just realize that it's just our brain.
I have an example of this for you. I never got to have him on, and he passed away. It was Robin, what was his last name? Skull Project. Have you ever seen the Skull Project documentary?
No.
You guys need to.
Okay,
I'm serious.
This is the third thing we're
and it's not spelled like skull, like a human skull. How's it spelled, Jamie?
Skull, SKOO or OLL, right?
I think it's like that. Is that right?
Tell us more.
COLE.
Yeah,
If
something
I
like that.
remember
I know
right.
yeah. Chad will get it, right? The reason you guys need to see this is because what it was a project between trance mediums who would meet on a regular ritualistic basis, maybe like twice a week, if I remember right, or something along those lines. If I got it wrong, I'm sorry. In a dark room. And they would basically try to communicate with the other side. Cool. And it got stronger every session, and things started to manifest into the location. Things would get printed on blank film. They had scientists there. They had all kinds of stuff. What I'm saying is, here are these people coming together, the same people, the same trans mediums, coming together in the ritualistic practice together, putting their minds on an intent to do something, to open up this consciousness, and it got more powerful every time they did it. They were literally, and they tried this in other places too. They kind of brought it a little while. I think there were some experiments done here in America where people saw like a whole table get up and spin and light up, like just amazing stuff. And it had to be in the dark though. They said this, and that's what skeptics are like, see, they're right there. But it's like, well, the dark is Schrodinger's box. The blackness, the dark.
Cool.
Cuts off the, anything can happen. It's a void. Anything can come out of it.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you need that box, is what I've always theorized about the Skull Project. They say this, the mediums are like the spirits or, the light ruins it or whatever. I don't think it's that. I think it's the mind needs the blackness. I think the shared minds need the blackness and the openness, the possibility for something to come out of it.
So we're doing research right now in the Starseed Academy and LightNet, and we encourage everybody who's listening today to do this. So we have egg cartons, and we place objects in each carton, each 12 carton. We allow 4 for people that don't exist anymore in the physical plane. You could say six, and then do it with 6 people. And then I have a full copy of the 12 egg carton, and I have 2, and you have 2, and you have 2, Jason. And I can transfer my object, my penny or my bead, to your house, or you can send to me, or I can actually send to your spot. So Jason, you're 2 up.
Right.
Your penny is 2 up. So I can send my bead to your spot in my house, or I can send it to you physically. And we had an extraordinary experience that rocked our world recently in Ibiza with apports. And we can tell you want to tell them, it was so cool. Because I have been working on finishing the LightNet software, so I haven't gotten this apport project. But speaking of Uri Geller, we love you, and we want you to be part of this. He's the last person I'm calling to tell about this project, and then we're starting it. And I hope that he joins us because it'd be really cool. But tell him what happened in Ibiza.
Right. So we're at a conference and working really hard, and I lost my wallet. And the odd thing about it is I hadn't left the hotel, and
Yeah.
tore the hotel room apart, emptied the drawers, emptied the backpacks. It's gone. So a couple days go by, and I said, well, I guess somebody took the money because I'm watching the credit cards and I hadn't canceled them. Somebody took the money and threw it in the garbage. And then that afternoon, Zenka opened a drawer in the hotel room and it was sitting right there on top. Now,
and we'd emptied the door 3 times.
I figured that.
And
then
I lost my battery, my computer charger with my mouse. So it was like a big clump of big, huge things. And this was one day after he lost his wallet. And the next day we were like, oh, if we could just make it appear back in a place we searched 3 times that it totally wasn't. Because, I mean, the whole hotel was looking for it. The staff was looking for it. Like, everyone was looking for it. It was just right there. And I was like, okay, let's intend and ask for them to return the charger. And sure enough, the next night, the charger was in that same drawer with my underwear and socks that we looked.
I've experienced it.
It's super cool. So what do you think it is? It's like, that's why I said at the beginning of the show, my highest excitement is working with the other side. With dead people, with angels, with ETs, with our minds, like
with
all
consciousness.
Of
it's all consciousness.
With consciousness. It's all consciousness. Yeah. Exactly. I love that you're this awake, Jason. This is beautiful.
Well, we've been talking about this stuff for 9 years on the show. This is my bread and butter. We get into this. We got a commercial break in about 10 minutes. When we come back, like I said, we could just start rolling it. Rob, are you going to be around to roll Spirit Box? We past your bedtime.
Yeah, I don't have any of my stuff hooked up right now.
Do you think you might be able to?
And gear.
Oh no! I can run it. I can run it on my end. It's hard for me to take phone calls sometimes when I run it on my end. I'll have to see. Heck, I don't know if this one will work on this end. I might be.
Well, we have the radios too. Whether
we can try that too.
We have whether they want to come through tonight. Who knows? But we could hook whatever we want. We feel like hooking up. If you guys want to hook up.
Let me test one of them here. Let me see. It's been a while. We haven't done one. I know the audience. I have audience members that are like obsessed with my ITC shows and always ask me, when are you going to do another one? There it is. This is our friend Keith Weldon's Necrophonic.
But I want to hear from the other Hollywood stars. Rob, talk to us.
Rob's got a lot of good stuff, the equipment and stuff he uses, but like he plays in a band, so he's got his stuff with his gear.
I got all my cables that are out in my band bag.
I think I can get it to work. I can at least get the Necrophonic to work.
Tell us about your band.
Oh, we played last night and it was about 100 degrees.
Oh,
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, it was insanely hot last night.
St. Augustine, Florida.
Yeah.
We got to go ghost hunting there with my kids on their first ghost hunt with him at the lighthouse. It was a ton of fun.
That's so cool. What kind of music is it?
It's just a little bit of everything. We're all over the place.
Cool.
It's very
fun
eclectic.
Times.
Yeah.
It's got a good vibe.
That's how I like a band. That's how I like a band that's got like kind of a set that's like eclectic like that,
Yeah, we're very eclectic.
That's so cool.
Real laid back, real beachy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, down in Florida, you got to kind of have that kind of music. But yeah, we can try that when we come back from commercial break. Rob, still, if you want to stick around, Rob, I think everybody's collective energy can do it. I'll use the Necrophonic. We'll try your radios. We'll see if I can take phone calls too, because I swear people call in and we get response because of that too.
And we're calling in the ETs this time. I guess
we're going to call in the ETs.
And Rob, do you get into the zone when you're playing music? Do you get into like a flow state? What is it like? Tell us about your flow state.
I'm half the time I got my eyes closed when I'm playing,
Me
which
too.
isn't the greatest for, stage presence, but sometimes I just get into it. Like last night I was playing and I kind of opened my eyes and everybody's looking at me like, are we going to end the song? Or
I'm jamming, man.
Yeah.
I used to be in a band and play and write songs, and there's lyrics I wrote that as I later looked at the lyrics, and I would always call it to my bandmates, like I'd have a song, everything was by ear by me. My lyrics would be like, oh, okay, whatever I'm going to blurt out right now. And then I'm going to record it, and then I'll write that down, and I'll change it up, make it a little more cohesive. But I'd call it speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
And because I had friends that were Christian, Pentecostal, that spoke in tongues. So that's the best thing I could, because I would just let these things. One was like called Roads Chosen. Everything I read about it was like that time in my life. It was like literally predicting what's going to end up happening. There's one where I had a line. I always felt like I was an alien. Like there's just things that I wrote. Yeah, it's my inner subconscious bringing these things out. But I swear, it like predicted things later in my life. Like my own.
You're so tapped in. That's so amazing. That's so amazing.
But I think some of the best music comes from that, like what Rob getting in the zone there. Like sometimes maybe if the zone is like a Fish concert or something, they're just jamming out. That's a little too much zoning for me. But otherwise, a lot of times the zone for athletes too. You'll see it in athletes. I was a big Michael Jordan fan when I was a kid. I'd watch that. My birthday's tomorrow. When it used to be the Bulls championships always usually fell on my birthday. Like they were playing the championships at the time. And, you'd watch Michael Jordan make these shots. Like, I mean, yeah, he's super talented, but it's like, dude, that dude's in the zone. Yeah. People, I call it the Force, the Jedi thing. People reach that state. But when I was a kid, one of my favorite TV shows, too, was Bill Bixby, Incredible Hulk.
Be angry.
The sad music, him out there putting the thumb up. But you remember the beginning of that is him saving his wife. He was fascinated with people saving them. He couldn't save his wife because he couldn't lift a car, but he was fascinated by people who had that ability, that sudden adrenaline rush. Yeah. And there was like one of the people he interviews is like a Vietnam soldier who like pulled his buddy out and was shot and all this stuff, and he didn't feel nothing. He like carried his friend, and all this stuff. What was cool about that is, I watched I watched all these crazy shows. Those were true. There's true stories of that. People doing these like incredible things. It's like the Force comes about them at that moment.
Yeah, we talk about people lifting cars when we do the spoon bending once a month. It's like that. You're in another possibility space.
Possibility space. It's that Schrodinger's cat is it alive or dead. Are we living in multiple realities? And are we constantly fluxing in and out of those realities? That's what I wonder. Is like, are we shifting timelines all the time? Whoa, jeez. Holy moly.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like that darkness you were describing. It creates an uncertainty moment.
Exactly.
In the quantum state.
Yeah. Uncertainty moment in the quantum space. That's what I was looking for. That's perfect way of saying it. Yes, exactly that. I'm not brilliant to know these things, but that's what I was searching for, is the uncertainty principle, that moment in the darkness. So you have to have the darkness. Look at, like they talk about, for people like Nostradamus. One of the legends about Nostradamus is he used to stare into a black mirror to see his visions of the future.
Yeah, I have one, yeah.
You see, people are now, one of the things in the paranormal community that they are really experimenting on is the STEP method, or saying that right, where they put a blindfold on somebody and they put white noise or like an SB7 radio or what, spirit box thing that plays in their ears. And people ask questions, and they have sound canceling headphones, so they can't hear the questions. They can't know what the people around them are saying, but they're the communicators. They're just going to say whatever they think they hear coming through the white noise or the spirit box. And with the blindfold, they might see things too. Mm-hmm. And I've always been interested in this whole method thing and what more could be done with it. Because it's its own isolation tank kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That might help your senses come out because you're blocking one and giving energy to something else, or you're confusing your senses so it reaches for something, right? That's really cool. We should try that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It reminds me of the mindfold kind of thing where you can feel colors.
Or the double sensory experiment that you do in your labs, mm-hmm. where they have to feel the water and the thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So but I like that. Yeah. I like that.
Am I saying it right? Whoever got it in the chat room, STEP method or whatever, or what is it, Jamie? Do you know? Trying to remember the name. It's something like that, and it's for a researcher named after. Is it? What am I hearing?
I don't know what you're talking about. Two shadows, someone just wrote, but I don't know what method you're talking about. But I like that. We got to try that.
They're just saying hi to somebody named Two Shadows in there.
Oh,
Okay. The method that we do, by the way, with spoon bending is to cause chaos and get you out of your head. So our experiences are designed based on Jack Houck's method, and it's basically getting you out of your head. So you're just like we scream, we yell, we jump up and down, kids can run around. Like the more chaos, it's like maybe your senses do shut down in a sense. And you stop thinking about the fact that it's totally impossible to do, and then people just start doing it. And when I see you doing it, you see him doing it, it just happens all at once. Everyone does it at once.
Yeah, it's a cascade event.
Right. So, the rules of the reality have been changed.
Right.
Exactly.
And we've had our breakthroughs. Like, so we do, so worm forming is where you do a twist. That's called kindergarten. This is high school. And then bending without touching is graduate school. And we didn't have anyone that was able to do this, the high school. One person did it, and then 8 people did it that night. And then we did it every time since. So it was impossible until the 4-minute mile. And then we do bending without touching. And we do this with the ETs, I think, because we enter into restaurants now, and the fork is already bent. We haven't even started bending it, and it's already bent. And we show them the loop. I mean, this is the amount of times we've done it. We just go into the restaurant, the fork's already bent at our place. It's just like, well, look at that. Can you guys see that? That's just
hold it right.
This, yeah. Oh, we actually, yeah. This,
yeah. See,
did it.
All right, we got to go to commercial break. We're actually running over here.
Okay,
we're going to go to commercial break, and we'll come back to this. We're going to talk more with. I'm sorry. What was the name of your friend here? Because I'm going to totally space it. Adam.
Yeah.
Adam and Zenka. We're going to talk more about the consciousness, mind over matter tonight. I love it. This is my totally my bread and butter. But when we come back, we're going to open phone lines, and we're going to open up the channels to the ETs and the spirit world or whatever collective consciousness. After this short commercial break, join us and call in and join that conversation with the unknown, the blackness, the unconsciousness. I don't know, whatever out there. Take the red pill or the blue pill when we come back after this short commercial break.
Conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Do you wish for more paranormal and spiritual content? The Paranormal Chronicles magazine is a free digital magazine crammed with the very best in paranormal and spiritual articles and features. No sign-up, no subscription, just free reading and knowledge for you. Read today at www.paranormalchronicles.com/magazine.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Paranation Magazine is a new paranormal magazine based out of Denver, Colorado. Our goal isn't just to give you the best paranormal content out there, but to promote paranormal unity. We're doing this by giving everyone an opportunity to tell their stories and to share their experiences. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Paranation Magazine and soon, paranationmag.com.
I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is the extraordinary travels of a young, alone, and broke psychic in the highly anticipated new book from internationally renowned psychic, medium, medical intuitive, and best-selling author Sherry Dillard. Critics have described I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like as an engrossing memoir, an empowering story of how a broken girl came to accept her psychic gift, a refreshing and fun read. I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is available through Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold.
Wrote Spirits of the Dead with a pen dipped in warm blood. You will see the ultimate in terror with this important all-star cast. Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda in Edgar Allan Poe's Spirits of the Dead. Only Poe's demented genius could bring to the screen such horror and evil. Spirits of the Dead stars Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda. Directed by three masters of the cinema, Federico Fellini, Louis Malle, and Roger Vadim. Spirits of the Dead is an adventure in terror beyond your wildest nightmares. Spirits of the Dead in color is rated R.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419. Or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guests are Zenka and Adam. We are talking about the joy and science behind spoon bending and how people can contact ETs using technologies like ham radios, theremins, tube TVs, and old cell phones. Maybe we can bend a spoon tonight. I brought one down. I got one from the kitchen. Yeah, I did. I grabbed a spoon. Let's see if we can do that. And we're also going to open up the phone lines here now. Let me make sure those are open for you. You heard the numbers. I will give them out again. 219-230-4444. That seems to be the magic number tonight. That should work. That's the magic number tonight. But there's other numbers. We'll play them again. You call in. We'll see. We're going to try to... I know a lot of people are going to call in, want to talk to somebody on the other side. That's great. We're also going to try to talk to ETs. And I know I got some of you guys out there that are contactees, maybe abductees. Why don't you call in tonight? Let's talk to them. Let's talk to the ETs, extra-dimensional entities. I don't know, but we only want positive entities. No, demon, none of that stuff, nothing negative. We like to have fun. I think we've always had a good time doing this. So let's go ahead and get right back into it. All right, we are back with Zenka and Adam. How you guys doing? I'm glad you're hanging in here with us tonight. I'm already getting phone calls. Make sure you guys, you're muted. Make sure you're unmuted.
I was just saying I like your hot tub in there, in your sign.
Oh, yeah. It's a bowl of soup.
Oh,
It's a
like,
bowl of
that's
soup,
right,
paranormal
that's
soup.
right, that's right. That's right. I love it.
Yeah, no, a friend of mine, Bill, made that logo for me when I said, he's like, what do you want for your logo? And I'm like, I see an alien, a Bigfoot, and a ghost, and a bowl of soup. I don't know. A very, very creative, thoughtful idea. He made a great logo like that.
I love it. I love it.
So hopefully Rob's on his way back. I don't know if he was getting, I was hearing sounds. I don't know if that was Rob trying to set up his stuff. Otherwise, I got mine.
Cool.
I did bring a spoon. I did bring a spoon.
Nice.
Remember that classic Matrix scene? The kid's just like bending the spoon in front of Neo, and he's like, "What
Yeah.
the heck, man? I can't do." The kid's just like, "Oh yeah, I was just gonna bend that spoon. It's all your mind, Neo.
There is no spoon.
Have a cookie."
Yeah.
There's no
So,
spoon.
yeah, so you can ask it to bend right down on the show. That's cool. Just like have it out there, and grab a fork because sometimes those bend just like ours did. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, did you guys ever listen to Art Bell back in the day?
Yeah, I did.
He's Adam's like, yeah.
I did.
Remember, he used to do the Collective Unconscious shows, and he got scared of them.
Yeah, he did.
He got scared of them because of the power of them, because they did stuff with weather and like there was a flooding, remember?
Yeah.
So he kind of got scared of doing it. He felt there was a power because he had 16 million people listen to him at one time.
Right.
Whoa.
Do you remember that?
Imagine the power of that.
So
We
I
can do that.
recall that event. There was a drought in Texas.
Right. That was it.
And they got 3,000 people to come together and intend that it would rain, and it flooded. And he was like, "Ooh!"
Yeah, he was scared
That
of doing
just
it again.
happened. That just happened in Dubai, but we don't know what happened. But they had a massive. Our friends were there meditating, and they were like, "Oh my God, we can't even drive anywhere. There's a flood. Like it rained more than it had in
26
years."
inches an hour or something like that.
They were
in
screwed.
Dubai.
But we don't know if it was
Yeah.
manufactured weather, consciousness, or a fluke.
There's
of
Jamie going,
weather.
yeah, manufactured weather.
It was modified weather.
But I heard that they were honest about it. Like, oops. Like, people, we're going to have these oops moments when we start.
They did in the beginning, and then they had the cover up. But
Oh,
I
did they?
broke my spoon and my fork.
Cool.
Yay.
Usually we do spoon vending once a month at LightNet. So you can buy it for just once a month, or you can become a member and do it every month and invite all your friends to your house. So it's part of our membership. We would do it, but usually we do it with 15 people. Or, we just do,
Yeah.
it's just a longer
I just
process
heard him
than we
talking
probably,
about it.
yeah, it's a longer process than we have right now. But basically, we'll tell you how we do it. And we'll also just ask that it bends because, like I said, we're not even sure if the ETs aren't bending it. So let's just you could just, like we're doing right now, we're just being open with it. We're requesting, allowing a communication. And yeah.
I think when it happens, with spoon bending, it's again like it's a consensus allowance, like because if we all believe in that possibility, it can happen.
Yeah.
I think when people saw Uri Geller get on live TV and they're doing it live, this man means business. They wouldn't let him get up on live TV if he isn't going to be able to bend some spoons in some people's living room. So the expectation was there with millions of people, and that's why it worked. And maybe in some households, you had too many skeptical people, and it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But that is so cool that yours bends. I heard people were like running out of their houses. Tell us more about it.
I was young, man. I'm trying to remember. I might have been like 11 or 12 years. I don't know. I don't know how old I was when that happened. But I remember it was like I wanted to watch it. I remember it was going to be a live TV thing. And, I'm the only child. It was me, my mom, and my dad. And, I don't know if my dad was around or watching. He probably stepped out of the room. But I know my mom was there. If she remembers it, I don't know. But, yeah, I just remember I had the spoon get a little bit, like it felt like the spoon got warm. And it, like, bent a little bit here at the top. And I'm like, is that just from me holding it?
When I tried, and that might be what part of my problem was. I would just watch it and tried to get it to like curl up. I never held on to it when I tried.
I held it like this. I remember I held it like this, and I actually felt.
But I was like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I felt it like get bendy here, like it suddenly got bendy, and then it stopped. It like stopped getting bendy. Like it only bent a little.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. So we do kindergarten first, where you are holding it and you are forming it, but I can't actually unbend it. So it's a point where 15 seconds happens and it gets really soft. And
Right, it's like it got soft for a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where you just bend, and then it stops, and you're like, "What just happened?" And your brain shuts down to the possibility of it happening, and it's like, okay, it's not happening. And then we do this where you bend the buckle of the spoon, and that's almost impossible to do with your physical force. And then we just do it where you're just not touching at all. And that I think we do, I don't know if we do it with the ETs or if we just do it like, I don't know. It's just, and then we sprout seeds in our hands.
Like seeds?
And sometimes
you put a seed and you'll see if it'll like sprout.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And by the way, the technique we use is we say, bend, bend, bend. And then we let it go.
Let it go.
So letting it go is where the manifestation happens, because you have to allow it to happen. Just like the radios, we're saying radios, like people who want to talk to ETs, come, come, come. And then we let it go and we allow whatever's supposed to happen tonight on this call to happen.
We create that moment of uncertainty.
Then you just don't care about it. And when you stop caring, there's no nervous energy. Are the ETs going to come or are they not going to come? It doesn't matter. If they want to come, if they want to do a connection with whoever's coming to do the connection is good. It'll happen. If not, it won't. But it doesn't.
You're not putting out any weird blockages or anything.
Right.
And that exactly, you get it. And that's what we do with Bloom, is because we disattach time from it. We say we want to see a purple car, but we don't say now, tomorrow. We just put it out there and it happens. Because we've we've stopped reverse manifesting. We've stopped worrying. We've stopped questioning. We've stopped wanting even.
And that's one of my weaknesses, is worrying and questioning.
And wanting. Right. It's for all of us.
Yoda would be like, hit me upside the head. We do got somebody waiting on the line. Let's go ahead and get to her. We got, I think, Adrian. Is that you on the line?
Yeah, it is. It's Adrian from Connecticut. Hi.
Thanks for calling in.
I have had so much activity here in the past week, so I have a lot of faith that something might come through. And one of them was not alien, the other probably was. But
they're coming.
I caught something on video.
I think Rob's setting up there too. But Rob's still going, so go ahead. We're going to see if aliens come through here. Because that's our focus. You're a perfect caller for that, Adrian.
Okay, you want me to start? All right. The other night, I was staring up into space, giving thanks to the space brothers and sisters for their help and their sacrifice. And as I was staring, a huge, like beach ball size white orb just exploded at the corner of my house. No sound, and it was a little yellow. Can you identify yourself? Is the necrometer going? Are we on for?
Yeah. So let's just ask the question. So we're going to ask them to come through either what James or Jason has got, Robert has, or we have. We're going to ask that orb that showed up for you comes through if they would like to.
Yes, I took that as a you're welcome. So that orb, I was giving thanks. Did you receive my message?
All right, we're going to give it time
to see if we can hear anything.
Remember, you got to give it time between what you ask so we can hear.
I'm going to turn on Keith's new Transcend app also.
Okay.
Cool.
I think Rob's trying to set something up too. You guys got yours running?
This will just give some words, and I don't have to put it through the box, but it has nothing programmed in it at all.
I'll try mine.
To the light being I saw. Can you identify yourself?
For ours, we have to ask yes/no questions. So can you rephrase that as a yes/no question?
Were you the one who received my message of gratitude?
Can the one that received the message of gratitude come through now?
Have we met before? I'm sending you love and thanks.
Yours.
Were you on the ship? Were you on the ship that flew over my house a month ago?
That was
I got the word rough. And this is just coming out of thin air.
I'm very thankful. I do have another being I can try and contact, unless you want to stick with this one.
Whatever you want to do, Adrian. What was that?
Okay. Thank you for your responses, whoever it was who responded. Last year, I met a being on a huge ship, and he told me that the new Earth will be considerably larger than this one. Do you have a message?
I can.
Love and peace. I heard love and peace there.
Cool. Was I on the new Earth?
This is the new Earth. I swear to God, that's what I just heard in there in the background.
Cool.
And I think I can send you a list.
I'm getting a real energy feeling right now. My hair is standing up from my head to my ankles. I have another question.
Us.
Did you have a specific job for me to do? Because I remember holding something.
Do you know a Randall? Seeley?
All right, I have another question too.
Yeah.
And this is for any of our space brothers or sisters out there. The paranormal activity I caught on camera in the woods with that running being in the flying object and orb. Do you know who that was?
Yeah, there's enough.
Because like these are all called for.
Herman?
It's funny.
They didn't
They're
tell
fun.
them the music was teach thing too.
Was that flying thing from the fairy realm?
That almost sounded like Herman too, huh?
Was that running ghost from Earth? All right. Oh. If you want me to give someone else a chance, I'll cut it off there.
I'll try.
I got to send you the video of that, Jason.
Yeah.
I will.
All right. So can you say goodbye to Adrian, the aliens, all consciousness, or whoever's communicating with us? You say goodbye.
Hey, my space brothers and
I heard it
sisters,
in
thanks
the
a
background.
lot.
Did you hear it? It was very faint, but there was a goodbye in
No.
there.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right.
Sir.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.
I always end just like you would on a Ouija board with goodbye with each caller. Can you say goodbye?
Right.
Because they don't go home with you. Some people get freaked out about that.
I can
You know.
send you your text log too if anything stands out to you.
Okay.
What program are you using?
That one was Necrophonic by Keith Weldon.
And I have Keith's new one.
Cool. And we recommend VBE software by Ricky Stiles. They have
VBE software.
Yeah, VBE. It's for Android only, not Macs. But we just
Sadly,
buy.
I'm not Android. That's probably why I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, we just buy. We
I
just
have a
buy
tablet.
$40 phones, $20, $40 phones
Yeah.
on eBay, and it's better
Because
it
sometimes
blow
it
out the
can burn them
sun.
out. So
I have a Samsung that I put the Androids on. You said
VBE. We can't type in the chat because Coffee has the two-factor identification.
It's all right. Well, I did share your guys' Starseed link
Okay,
so far. I
perfect.
saw your
Okay,
comments
yeah.
on there.
Yeah, okay, cool.
All right, we got somebody else on the phone line. Who do we got?
Hi, Jason. It's Azariana. How are you tonight?
Doing good,
And everybody?
Azariana. We got our other alien contactee here. This is another
yeah.
perfect caller.
Yeah, I guess you can guess my question. Am I ever going? Why did they take my contact stone away, and why won't they give it back?
So, background story to that is that she received from her contacts with aliens an actual stone that would like glow when they'd come, and then they took it away. That she had when she was young. So we've been waiting for that stone to come back. She's going to give it to me.
Well,
I'm gonna
I
borrow
think
it for a
this
while.
is a perfect reason,
That's
and
why I
that
won't
was
give it
what I got. Is the why is because you're going to bring it back now, and that this is what it's all about: is passing objects between dimensions, apporting. Like let's
Yeah,
all
that's
do
what it
it
was.
together. Let's do it together. So ask
We're
for
going to
it.
A-port it back.
Yeah. So let's actually do a group intention with anybody who's listening right now for 3 minutes or 2 minutes. Let's imagine what was this crystal? Let's describe it. What did it look like? Where do you want it to appear back?
It was small. It was small. It was like a gray, not metallic, but it was very light. I don't know what it consisted of, but if you scratched it, it kind of repaired itself or healed itself, if that's the right term. And when they would be coming, it would glow this blue, and it would get colder. And it would get colder, and I would telepathically know that they were coming that night and stuff like that. I did occasionally. I was abducted from the age of 5, so I don't remember actually seeing any grays, but this is what I was given when I was 5, and I had this all the way to adulthood. And after arguing and everything, they took it away. So,
Okay.
Hold on, Azarian.
Oh wait, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So you
No, I
argued
want you. Go
about
ahead.
what? Well, what I was going to say is let's ask them to explain the argument, or let's clear whatever that energy is, and then let's ask them to just put it into a box that Jason has, since he's going to be getting it, or they can give it to you back. But do you have a black box? Because that's what Jason's thinking we need. And we do that sometimes too. We'll put black boxes, we'll put boxes. So do either of you have a box where they could put it back in?
a box. It was.
Mini box.
Well, I don't know. It was.
It should go to her house because here I would not know. My wife has so many different stones. It would get lost in the
it's
mix.
gonna
So
back
go to her
your
house.
And then can you resolve the argument that you had right now with them?
I understand completely why they why I was mad. Well, I was used for a hybrid program. I was pregnant 4 times, and after a couple of months um, um, you know, it was there and then it was gone. And when I was abducted with them, I did see the hybrid quote children, and I saw them in their various phases from young to adult, and I saw a lot of things, and I had finally after all that, I finally got so mad. I said, I'm so tired of it. I can't do this, And I got mad at them, and then the stone disappeared. So
Why do you want it
maybe
back
it was
now?
me.
Yes, so what would it mean
Well,
for you to get it back? What would it mean for your relationship? What would it mean? What does it mean?
well, I have been getting download messages, and I have another implant that and have been abducted again. And this implant is different than the one, if I did have one, which I don't remember. And this one moves, and it goes to different, as I have said before, I'm repeating myself, it moves to different parts of my body. I don't know if it's, I feel it's healing the different parts of my body, but I also feel it's changing my DNA. I can actually feel the first time that it happened, I could actually feel and see my blood changing, how it's moving in the veins. And like I said, it does move. So I don't know what purpose I could serve them, if that's the right word, serving them, or
You don't know what they want
or
with you
just
now that the hybrid thing's over with, basically.
Exactly.
We're gonna run out of time here, so if we're
Okay,
gonna do
okay,
this,
quickly.
we're gonna
Okay,
need to.
so what I'm saying though is that we don't want to do just a random thing, I don't think.
Mhm.
So why don't you have them send you a different object, or have them send that, but we should unlock what you want that to mean. If they send it back to you, what does that mean? Do you want to?
it means that I can. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you.
No. Go ahead.
I want some, something tangible, because they're always in my head now, and I listen and I know when they're coming, but like I said, something tangible, something that, maybe it'll bring me peace. That, like I said, what I had, what they gave me,
Because it's something you can physically hold on to from them. Because everything else you have is in this conscious realm of memory.
Right.
I get that.
Okay,
I get that.
so you want to validate that they did meet with you when you were younger, and you want to use it to contact them again by them lighting it up blue when they want to make contact with you. And then you this time get to decide whether you contact them back. So you have to have a code with them and say, if you light up your rock blue and I put a pencil next to that thing, that means that I do want to visit. If there's no pencil, I don't want to. So we advance that communication permission thing. And now let's come together, everyone listening, and let's spend a minute, 60 seconds, asking the ETs to drop this back to you as a validation of your experience and a continued conversation. Does that sound good?
Yes, I would like that.
Do you like the idea of you putting a pencil next to the blue rock? If you see it go blue, that means that yes, you want to contact them?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Here we go. Everyone close your eyes. And we're going to allow the rock to come back to facilitate the next evolution of their relationship. And we're going to be grateful, and we're going to see it done. And we're going to ask in a humble way. for the best possible thing to happen, whatever that is. And let's be in silence for just a minute. Awesome. We've spoken.
Sorry about the beeping. That's other people trying to call.
Okay, cool. Take it. Yeah, but that's like us asking for it to come into existence, and we got buy-in, consensus reality from at least us 5, 6. That's her 6, and anyone else who decided to bless that with, cool. That would be great. I like gap ports. I
Thank
think
you.
they're what we should try to work with these days.
Rob, did you? I know you were away. Did you try to get your stuff set up? Was that what you were doing?
Yeah, finally got it.
Yeah,
going.
you got it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Give it a couple minutes here. Let's see if Zuriana can get them to talk to her.
I've been having the app run for you also the entire time. I just have it quiet so I can send you your log too when you're done to see if any of these things coming up are relevant to you.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
Zuriana,
you,
go ahead and
Jamie.
talk to him. Got a couple minutes here.
All right.
I love the
I'd
name.
like to. I'd like to get that. I'd like to get that piece that connects us again. It was. I think I want to finish whatever I have to do to work with you. Is it possible?
You got to give him time to talk too. You can go ahead and talk. Ask him a question. Ask him another question.
With all the messages that I have been downloading, I know I've been lax about a book, but is it possible? Is it too late for a book?
You dream it, anything. Did you hear that?
Yeah, and they said this will be the first book.
The first book? I heard that earlier.
This one says ahead.
I have
This says the one you already know, the one you wrote.
You heard that.
The one.
Who are we talking to? Where are you from?
I've been running these through AI. Like lyric finders, and they'll actually pull words out.
Mm-hmm.
We are from a higher dimension.
Yeah.
I heard that. Did you not hear that? It said that.
Have
I
I-
cannot wait to edit this call.
Have I visited you in the higher dimension when I do my meditation?
No, sir.
They said I liked that. That was the first thing they said. I liked that.
right, Aziriana. Any last question?
All right. I look forward to putting the book together and sharing my messages and my readings and visions and things. Thank you.
All right, higher dimensional beings, can you say goodbye to Aziriana? Go.
Go. And they said it's just for you. And they said 7. I don't know if you heard those things, but when she said, like, cool.
I go back and listen to these. Something in life? All right, Aziriana. Say goodbye.
Okay, thank you. I look forward to that, Jason.
All right, you let me know if when it manifests, when it does. You let me know.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hey.
Blessings to everybody and their families. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
That's great. Protect.
We
I
gotta
had somebody
get
else trying to
all
call
the people
in.
that
Keep
wanna
trying.
write books. We want to get people, all the people that need to write books about their experience, to find each other so that they can write books together and be supported.
Well, that's the reason I started doing this show. Is I had a very negative experience that I almost drove me to the brink of madness with what people call a shadow being. Some people like demon. I don't know. I always looked at it as some kind of alien dimensional being that decided to really mess with me. It would rip me out of my body at night, show me things I should not be able to know, like my girlfriend cheating on me or my band discussing how they're going to kick me out. That was a teenager. But this thing tormented me to the brink, and there's things I can never talk about that it showed me and did. But I felt I was saved by God, this force, whatever, when I humbled myself and called out for it after this thing levitated me up off my bed and threw me down. But I did that. I wanted to do the show to give people a place to talk about these experiences, negative and good, so we don't feel like we're going crazy. Hopefully this person doesn't feel like they're going crazy. We got another person on the phone line. Who do we got?
So cool.
Hey, Jason, it's your cousin Gary. I got to say one thing, hashtag the fourth kind is real.
The Fourth Kind
I
is
just
an
wanna put that
awful
out there.
movie. Don't you dare bring that up on my show. Awful movie.
I had to do it once. I think, you guys doing the ghost box or just doing with everything else? Because I was going to see if I could put something out there. Because I know me and you had some crazy MVPs back then.
Oh, yeah.
Or EMP, I'm sorry.
EVPs, you mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah. No, this is the ghost box and stuff, but we're calling it the what we want to call it tonight, the collective unconscious box tonight, or the universal consciousness box. We're reaching everybody: multi-dimensional beings, Arcturians, Thespians, Venuvians. Everybody's welcome, except if they're a demon or anything dark. We don't want you. We're here for a good time.
No, I was saying good time, everything else. But what I was calling in for, I'll probably do some other time. So it's probably not a good time to do it.
No, Gary. What are we calling in for? Anything goes. We're open to all. If it's somebody you want to talk to, we'll try.
Even if they're from the.
All right. Well, the person I want to talk to is someone you already know. My sister passed away a couple weeks ago. See if I can connect to her.
Okay. I had a feeling. That's why I didn't want to let you go. Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up. That's up to you, Gary, if you're ready for that.
No, I'm fine with that. I just want to see. Go ahead.
Okay, we can open it up. Rob, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and talk, Gary.
All right, bud.
And,
All right,
Rob,
Jenny.
really quick,
I know we haven't been.
Real quick, 1 second, Gary.
Go ahead.
But when he's not talking, Rob, are you able to or when he's talking, are you able to turn it down? Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Gary.
All right, Jenny. I know we haven't been close the last few years and whatnot. Life happens and stuff. Only question I have for you is just making sure you're all right.
See how the highest.
Yeah, just away.
Jenny, just making sure you're up there looking over your girls and that everything's good for you.
Beautiful. And then See a mirror. I'm not gonna.
I just want to make sure that you're cool and you're watching over everything and everything's good for you. I'll just say one more thing because I know you guys are short on time. Thank you for being my sister, going with you. If you need to contact me, I'm always around. And thank you for everything you've done for me in my life.
Jenny, do you have any last messages for Gary?
Yeah.
This came up and pray.
Somebody heard in there, I still love you. Charmed heard that.
You don't get that. It's just open. It helps. You asked for me.
You asked for me. Gary is asking for
I
Jenny.
heard that.
I feel like we're getting a connection. Keep going, Gary.
Jenny, I just want to say I love you. You're probably the greatest sister I ever had. We had a great time together. And I'm going to say your nickname. Maybe that'll bring something up. JTT, Jenny the Tank. You know what I'm talking about.
Like I said.
I'm with you, like I said. That's what I thought I just heard.
Yeah.
I missed you.
Just the reason.
I miss you too, Steve.
The basic.
It just said miss you right after you said that, too.
And then.
Just to let you know, sis, I'll take care of your girls and anything they need.
I heard there's no doubt.
Relatively.
Something relative.
I heard that too. I love you, sis. Jason, I'm done. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gary. Can you say goodbye?
Yeah.
All right, Gary. Thank
Goodbye,
you.
sis. I love you.
Sorry for your loss.
Bye.
When he said he would take care of the girls, I got like full body chills. All my hair stood up,
Same.
and that's
He's
like
he's
yes,
my
that's
he's
a
my
yes.
cousin, and yeah, that was a really huge loss. So I had a feeling that's what he's calling in for. So I didn't want to let him go with that.
No, that's perfect because maybe we're even all ETs having a human experience. So delimiting between dead people and ETs is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. By the way, he got Planet D on. Adam did when he was listening.
Planet. Well,
Dion.
Gary, thank you for calling in, bud.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Bye. You too, bud.
But yeah, I mean, anybody you call in tonight, we are trying to reach the collective unconsciousness, hyper or ultra dimensional entities and all that. But if you are trying to reach a loved one, I'm not going to deny that either. You know, it's all consciousness. It's all spirit, alien or not. I mean, there is no such thing as aliens probably because we're all aliens, you know?
My son was making up a camp story. We went camping last night, and he was like, or was it you that
No,
said?
he started it. Go ahead.
Oh, well, at some point we're telling a story back and forth, each talking a little bit. And and then there's these aliens, and there was 8 of them, and they were small to 3 inches to big. And at one point they were like, okay, get ready. They couldn't see each other. The family that visited the ETs couldn't see it and everything. They were like, get ready to see aliens. So they told the aliens to protect their kids to see us because we were aliens.
We
to
were the
them.
aliens.
You know
were
what I
the
mean?
aliens.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was this beautiful thing, but yeah. And this is
That's
so
something-
beautiful that they're coming through past loved ones and people, because they see. He kept asking her, do you see from above? Like, do you see it from a higher point of view? They do. And when we can communicate together, it's really beautiful because we can know that higher perspective.
I know for me, when I first started experimenting with this, and I wish I was recording it, but I was just testing out like the first time I was really getting into ITC. My grandmother had passed not long before that, and I had asked for her to come through, and I wish I could have recorded it because on her deathbed, the last word she said to me is, well, she had Alzheimer's, but she would always say, "Oh, my beautiful boy," when I'd come to visit her. She'd say, "Oh, my beautiful boy." Couldn't remember my name, but she recognized me. Like, she knew me. She'd say, "Oh, my beautiful boy." Well, we came through on that spirit box. I said, "Grandma, can you give me a message?" You're there. I heard it say, clear as day, "My beautiful boy." You know, so the first experience really I had, it convinced me. I used to have this investigator, Judy, would come with me, and she'd always pull out the little SB7. I'm like, oh my God, that thing gives me a headache. But one night on investigation, this thing saying names, it said this name, Ivan. I found out from the lady, it was her uncle who had just passed away. You know, so like, I became a believer, you know. I was always an EVP guy, like getting voices on a recorder out of thin air, you know. I'm like, we don't need to add any audio junk to it, you know, or anything like that. But I've seen it manipulate audio in some way or form to do this, to communicate like that.
So, because we've heard too that they will take a recorder device, like just like an old tape deck, and press record and actually record it. And we actually got a bunch of those for our music and ET class where we basically, the ETs played music with us. But how did you do that? What was that like with the recorder?
Well, with recording, I used to do just haunted locations and investigations. I'd get EVPs. I got hundreds of those. You know, so I wasn't big on like the whole idea of using white noise or audio or chopped up audio for it or an SB7, you know. But I became convinced over time because, like I said, I've seen it manipulate audio, you know.
Yeah.
I've seen it take, chopped up cat meows and turned it into voices, you know, saying, I've seen it do all kinds of things. And I honestly, I think it's just, like you said, it's this collective unconsciousness. We all are open to the idea this is, inside that is randomness. Inside that, this like necrophonic app or whatever Rob's using or whatever, or an SB7 with hitting radio signals, all of it's randomness. I mean, look at synchronicity. One of my favorite books is Synchronicity by Carl Jung. You know, the things that would happen that he couldn't explain as a psychologist, as somebody who has a scientific mind, but he had an openness to the idea of consciousness and a collective unconsciousness, that God could reach out and touch us. He was a very spiritual person through these synchronicities. You know, somebody gets in a car and them and let's say their mom had a favorite song and their mom passes away and they get in their car and the first song that comes on the radio is that song. Did that DJ just get influenced by the universe to play that song, or what happened? You know, these synchronicities is the hand of God or the force or whatever letting us know there's much more to this reality than we could ever imagine.
I agree.
So why can I not use a device that has this randomness in it? In a sense, it's all this bunch of chopped up audio, but it's its own Schrodinger's box. We don't know what's going to come out of that.
Do you want to tell them about how, we weren't getting a response for a while and then we played music for them?
Yeah. So we set up this lab. Instead of using the radios, we got them to talk through the radios. We got them to make noise through the radios. And then the third time we were like, okay, let's just have them play music with us. We had all these phone apps. We had all these, like, everything, all these different things. And there was radio silence for 2 weeks. And I was like, whoops, we just did this lab and we're doing this investigation. Nothing's happening. And then we started singing to them. And then they sang back. And they were also trying to teach us about the silence that we have to create in order. It's not like you're picking up the telephone. Like
Yeah.
Rob said, you have to be quiet. You have to listen. And we're not used to listening that deeply. So it's like, it was cool. And then they played all sorts of stuff and it was just wild. And we don't die. And we're one. That's another crazy thing. Like somehow we're all one. We can remote view each other. Like somehow we never die. It's the coolest.
We're all part of the same consciousness field.
Yeah.
It's some kind of field of energy of consciousness that we all swim in and share. One of the things I was always fascinated with as a kid when I saw the movie, it was an old TV special movie on Sybil, who supposedly had multiple personalities. And this also goes back to the altered states theme, but the idea is that she was abused horribly, but she was also locked in a cabinet and isolated in darkness. And she developed through that abuse and that isolation these multiple personalities, her own world. And POWs have been isolated and trapped and tortured, have also experienced this. And people have also experienced, when they do an isolation chamber and they cut off everything, other people and things and sounds and personalities that come out, that's your mind creating it, right?
Yeah.
If you isolate, you cut off the input to the brain, it starts to make its own universe, its own characters. When you dream, you have people in your dreams, right? If that's, unless you're astral traveling, that's your brain creating those personalities and those people. You are that person there in your dream and yourself. You're multiple people within your dream. What I'm saying? What the consciousness does when you cut off that input, it wants to create a new set of personalities, a new world. If you cut off the input, that's consciousness. It wants to expand.
Yeah, because that was a question that came up. Is the new Earth bigger? Well, of course it is, because we are basically expanding in that. And you and your show and your experience is supporting that. Because like you said, your mission was to make sure that everyone could talk about this. You're not going crazy. This is actually real. And let's talk about it. And let's be excited and curious because magic is real, because you never die, because all these things we always thought we wanted to do, lead into gold, like everlasting life, it's all right here.
You already have it.
We
Eternal
already
life
have
is
it.
now.
We just have to remind ourselves and support each other in doing that. Like everyone who's listening is supporting you right now.
We got to compare notes too on our experiences.
Right. And that's what our nonprofit is doing. We're a data. So if you go to lightnet.org, you can start to look. We're just launching this on the 21st. So in 2 weeks, we're launching LightNet. You can kind of go through it right now. But
let me make sure I get that link in there again. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the other link that we told you guys to go to Star State Academy. But lightnet.org is going to be us tracking 100 people who've levitated, 100 people who got out of wheelchairs, 100 people who got out of addictions, 100 people who found their purpose, 100 people who talked to aliens. And we're going to compare notes with 100 people and tell everybody that you can do it too. Anyone can do any of this. We're all made of the same thing. So let's get into the Renaissance, because it's super fun. And why not?
We're opening up our consciousness and getting rid of the collective consensus that, that says this stuff isn't real and you guys are a bunch of wackadoodles.
The dream's going to come true. That you
Right.
can't talk to your grandma when she dies or your sister. Bullshit.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah. Well, watch the language. Yeah. It's all right. PG-13 on that, but it's all right. It's all right. It's happened. I'm not on radio.
My
You're good.
son
But I just,
charges me $1 every time I say that
yeah.
word. So I owe
my-
him $1.
We're getting a lot.
My
better.
12-year-old hates cussing, and that my kids sometimes tune in, and some of my friends' kids tune in. So I've always kept it. I always kept it PG-13 on the show because I am a big Art Bell fan, and besides him being on radio, he always had the, even if when he wasn't going to be even if he was on the internet or whatever, he would never have swearing, like be the Joe Rogan experience,
Yeah.
Like so, I honor that. Like we but hey, a couple things fly out of my mouth on this show sometimes. I'm like, whoops,
Oops.
yeah. get me talking about the government, and then it's hard for my mouth not to let a couple swear words throw out there. So I've slipped. I've definitely slipped. We got to go to our last commercial break, and we'll come back and open up the phone lines again. Guys, just so you know, if you call during the commercial break, it will be on Do Not Disturb. I don't open up the lines until we come back, so just wait till we come back from commercial break, and we'll take your calls and see if you can reach out to ETs or extra-dimensional entities or a loved one. We're open to all of that. It's the it's the collective unconsciousness, universal consciousness spirit box kind of thing tonight is what we're doing. We're open to contacting anything positive and good, I should say. Nothing negative. We don't want that. When we come back from the short commercial break.
Intercepted the transmission of unknown origin.
Transmission? Out here?
SOS.
Human.
Unknown.
Alien. Certificate X. Exclusive engagement at the Odeon Leicester Square. Now.
Any systematized transmission indicating a possible intelligent origin must be investigated. I will hear it.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and InterfaceDeath.net.
This is an APAC studio presentation.
Hi, I'm Barry, owner-operator of Barry's Barometer Barn. Lately, I bet you've been lying awake at night asking yourself, how many barometers do I really need? Well, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we think you need more than one. Otherwise, we're gonna go out of business. Remember, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we don't know the meaning of high-pressure sales. Come on, folks, buy another barometer. I'm trying to put my kids through college, I've got a family to support, and a secret mistress who isn't cheap.
Visit Barry's Barometer Barn, 000 Storm Drive. Come on, folks, buy a barometer. I'm Barry's older brother, Larry, and every time one of you people walk past the store without coming in, Barry beats me.
This has been a presentation from Tim Morgan's APAC Studio. For more almost professional amateur comic studio content, visit the APAC YouTube channel. Search APAC 2002. That's APAC 2002 on YouTube.
When Alex Gardner is asleep, he has an extraordinary gift. The government wants it, the scientists want it, but to keep it may cost him his life. It might be better if Alex didn't sleep at all, but he cannot resist entering the dreamscape. Can you? See Dreamscape in the West End and all over London now. Certificate 15. It takes an extraordinary adventurer to enter the dreamscape.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do voices from beyond the cold case files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Heat 'em up. Do, re, be gone.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419. Or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guests, Adam and Zenka, we are talking about mind over matter. Contacting ETs, collective unconsciousness, ultra-dimensional beings. We're going down the rabbit hole with this one, big time. That's why I love these guests. It's been so much fun tonight. We got a little bit of time left. We will take more of your calls. I don't know, we want to try to give one shot at, like she said, we're going to yell, bend, bend, bend. Maybe we'll try to bend the spoon tonight. We got about a half an hour left, so let's go ahead and get back to the show. All right, we're back. And let me make sure the phone lines are open. They are open. Got a little bit of time left. Did you guys want to try? You said you guys now, like, I know you have your whole thing with bending spoons that I'm sure you can't fit into this last part of the show, but did we want to try to, like, bend a spoon? You guys have, like, give it a, we have, like, probably a 40, 50-person audience. We might have enough willpower here to do it.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. We have to go get spoons and forks because what we have right here is all
already
stuff
bent.
we've already bent. Yeah. Yeah. So everyone, go get your spoon and fork, and get a pendulum.
Dang it, I could have had a pendulum.
Or a keys, or a necklace.
I'm like looking for things in my reach, or I have any. I have those kind of things, but not in my reach.
I just put my spoon and spork back, but I got some pendulums.
But I got my spoon.
Cool. Do you have forks and spoons? Go grab them.
Yeah, give me one more second.
I can't leave, so I just got the spoon.
Okay, perfect. I'm trying to find my pendulum. I had one up here.
No, can't get the rest of my nose now. Okay.
Now
my spoons are plastic. Drake the Dragon, you are a bachelor, aren't you?
So
spoons are plastic.
So cool, your birthday. Hey.
Well, yeah, technically. I mean, not till 7 or something like that in the morning, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, technically now, it's now June 10th. I am 45.
Yeah.
I guess, yay.
Yeah.
I got something. So, hey, while everybody's getting together, I'll tell you a funny story. So, Zenka shared with you this large collection of things that happens when we go out to eat.
Right.
So one afternoon, I'm making lunch, and I said to myself, I wonder how come forks never bend when we're home. And and I reached in the drawer and I pulled out a fork and it was bent. But this is our home stuff, you know. And so I'm like, okay, I walked in and they showed her, and she got so excited, and I thought, I am so lucky to be with somebody that would think that's a good thing, you know, about the home silverware. She's like, oh, that's so cool. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I did that and it bent the fork. You know? It's like,
so cool.
I didn't mean to will it to happen.
I know. It's like, oh, maybe you could put it.
You're afraid she's gonna go, my silverware.
Well, we've had so many people bend our nice silverware,
our nice stuff,
just because they're at the house. That's like, oh god, I actually had to buy new silverware the other day.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my god.
Well, I knew I wanted to marry my wife on our first date because we could talk about all these kinds of things, and you know, we've done stuff where we read each other's minds. You know, we've done little games together and stuff like that. Where we were really when we were in our younger 20s before we got married, we would do we'd sit there and do okay, think of a number or think of a color or actually draw what I'm thinking. You know, do stuff like that. You know, so
That's
I was
so
like, yep,
cool.
I'm marrying her.
That's so cool. That's so cool, and that's cool. You have kids because they stay totally in hypnosis until they're about 7 years old. So they're learning how the world. Okay, so you want to grab your pendulum and you want to put it over your spoon or fork and say, will you bend for me tonight? This is where we have a bunch of stuff, and then we say, if it doesn't say, if you can't get buy-in for your subconscious mind, just go get another one. But
how do you hold the spoon?
What's that?
How do you hold the spoon?
Okay, great question. So if you got a yes, did you get a yes? That it would bend for you tonight? Did you get a yes with your pendulum?
Oh,
I don't have a pendulum. I didn't know I needed one, so I don't have one.
So it doesn't matter how you hold it. It doesn't matter where you hold it, as long as you get a pendulum yes. So what I say is, show me a big yes. Show me a big no. And I get my yes or no. And I actually clear the pendulum and I say, all energies that are not my own move 1,000 directions, 1,000 miles on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. That's Susan Chester's technique, who's going to be doing miracle healing type stuff this weekend on Starfleet. But anyway, so you get that silence, right? It doesn't matter where you hold the spoon, but whatever, hold it underneath. Just say, will you bend for me tonight? And if it says yes, you're good. If not, you get another spoon. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to cause as much chaos. The reason why it's weird for us to do this right now is partially because I can't hear your audience. So what we want to do is we want to cause a massive amount of chaos. So what we do is we get everyone on the screen. We put the entire group that's there that night on the screen, and everyone unblocks their mute. And so everyone's screaming. Because when I bend this, I'm going to start going, oh my God, I bent it. And Jason, I want you to say, oh my God, I bent it. And so there needs to be an amount of chaos for your brain just to let go. But we're going to do it. And so what happens is, what we're going to do is we're going to bring white light through our body. We're going to connect with God, ETs, our sister, whoever you want, in love, right? Only light, exactly like you're talking about. And you're going to say, on the count of 3, we're going to bring white light through our bodies. We're going to pull it up and we're going to put it in the smallest part of the spoon. And then you're going to say, bend, bend, bend on the count of 3. And then you're going to say, let it go. And that's where you absolutely let it go. And on kindergarten, you're going to do warm forming. So you're going to be holding the bottom and holding the top. And this is warm forming. So you're going to spend about 30% of your strength that you would 100 would be like bending. So 30% is less. It's going to get soft, like you said, for 15 seconds. And then it's going to get hard. And you're not going to be able to bend it anymore. So when you start bending, I want you to make noise and say, okay, mine is bending. Oh my God, check this out. And you want to just talk over each other. We want to cause chaos. We invite the radios, the ETs to come through the radios, cause chaos, whatever.
I can turn that on.
I do it all in my
I can
head.
give you chaos.
Yeah, so bring in the ghost radios, all that stuff. Okay, so here we go. Because the more chaos, the less your brain can grab onto it and it just bends. Okay. So here we go. Bring that white light down through your head, through your body. Connect with your higher power. If that's God, that's God. Whoever you want to, bond in love to do this transdimensionally, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it in collaboration. And we're going to bring that white light through our bodies, that white light of love. We're going to pull it up from the center of the earth, pull it down from the heavens. We're going to run that white light through our bodies and through our hearts. And when we're going to dump it into that little part of the spoon, okay, connect with that energy, allow it to happen. Be grateful that you're doing this right here, right now. Thank you for this opportunity for all of us together to be bending together. We're all helping each other. Focus on each other. Focus on Jason for his birthday. Focus on him bending. On the count of 3, we invite all the ghost radio, everything to cause a lot of chaos for us. But if not, we'll just make our own noise. And here we go on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Bend, bend. Let it go.
Let it go.
Now, oh wow, this just bent. It just actually crashed. But keep going. So who's else doing it? So you're checking that. Okay, you're getting a bend. Cool. This is actually just happening now too. Wow. Okay, now it's hard. Bend. They just said bend. Cool. They did. Cool. You can also just hold it up. Oh, this one's bending too. Good. Okay, cool. Look, this one is doing the high school bend. And we can also just hold a fork. You didn't bring any forks. But we can hold just a fork like this. Now just feel. Let's listen to what they're saying. I heard supersize it. Look, this is bending more.
More.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
It's done.
Cool.
No bending for me, but it felt like it was going to.
Everyone. They just said everyone. No.
For us.
Beep, beep.
It said let it go.
It said let it go.
They said let it go. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, let it go. Stop caring whether you do it or not right now. And focus on something else. Focus on your kids. Focus on God. Focus on something you love.
Did you hear Ben? I don't know.
Did that just say bending?
Yeah.
You're bending? Was that one of you guys?
No, they said it.
They said.
It's been saying bend a lot.
So put your hand on your heart and ask them to bend with you. And this time, don't touch it. Just let them do it themselves and invite them into this joyous moment, this collaboration. And feel the gratitude of this thing. Feel the gratitude that, Jason, you got to connect 3 people tonight with their loved ones. Look at how much this is bending even more. Bend.
Scissors sharp. Scissors root.
They said bend again.
And they did.
Initiation. Distance.
Initiation. Free your mind, you guys. Let it run. Free your mind right now.
So mine's running.
Different.
Always. It's a bit. Like I said. I'm just gonna. Burn it up.
I feel like something is trying to pull it against me, like it's going the other way, like towards me, but it doesn't.
That's really cool. So you already have the intention has been set. You guys have cleared a lot of cool stuff in your brain, and now you can just leave it somewhere.
I'm gonna leave it here in the studio because this is my temple.
Yeah, so it'll just happen when it happens. And
my altar.
But I feel it, like I can feel it, like I feel
Like
this
almost
tug.
vibrating.
Then you're halfway
Yeah.
there. Then you're halfway there.
I remember this when I was a
That's
kid.
why I
It did
keep
this, and
doing
then
it.
it did it. So it's like I'm like almost there.
Cool. Congratulations.
It's a-
This is so cool. This is so cool. And there's no time limit on this. There's no, these are, you see them every day. So there's no scarcity of this. We just allow it to happen when it's ready to happen. And you have to let go of when. You don't get to know when. It just happens. I would love for you to share in the chat what ITC programs or what Ghost Box programs you're using right now, so that more people also can just do this.
Like I
Right?
said, that's Necrophonic by Keith Weldon.
What are you using, Rob?
Well, it's Spiritus by Keith Weldon.
Okay, cool. So that was so beautiful.
How many times did you hear the word bend?
Like
And then light
30.
after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that
Any last messages for us? Whatever is out there communicating, collective unconsciousness, higher dimensional beings, spirit. Any last messages before we say goodbye?
Like 3.
Will this spoon that I'm holding in my hand be bent? Will it bend?
I think mine bent a little bit.
Good job.
Ben, will it bend? Not while we're watching, or not something like that.
Yeah, we used to do that a lot. We do huge C5s. We turn off the camera, and then all of them would show up. There's a lot of like that will happen because
They're saying that in the back.
All right, to the greater collective unconscious, higher dimensional being, spirit, or whatever, can you say goodbye?
Well, hello.
One last chance. Can you say goodbye to everyone here?
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
All right, we're saying goodbye to the spirit and greater unconscious, hyper, ultra-dimensional beings and all. Goodbye. Bye.
Goodbye. Cool. Transdimensional YouTube show. Transdimensional. This is great.
I feel like it bent forward just slightly for a second there, just a second ago.
That's really cool. Yeah. So the subtler, it can be very subtle. That's why you study that spoon before you start. So it can be very subtle. And use forks too. You can notice it more. But that's amazing. This is like, I'm gonna tell Uri Geller about you remembering doing that.
Oh my God! That's that's like a childhood dream right there.
Yeah, and that's like we were trying to figure out what happens when you start to lose your dreams, when you start to lose the belief that your dreams can come true. Then you can make a living doing what you love, that your dreams can come true. When does that happen? And my friend interviewed all these 13-year-old girls all over around the world and just asked them, like, what do you need to make your dreams come true, your future come true the way you want it? And all they said is, I just need someone to believe in me.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we need to believe in each other and do that for each other. Because that's like the mirror neurons going, okay, I can do this. Like, we're all here to do something unique.
Because you notice the children who continually have the parents that are supporting them and help them along the way grow up without those gaps and are very, very tuned in and have less catch up to do than the ones that get cut off.
See, my kids are very open in this household. We're very open to talk about this stuff, and
mine were open.
Like 8-year-old, we've had recently a lot of discussion about his past life memories. He named the battle without, basically he's always seen bodies on a hill, and I said, what comes to your mind? He said Colmar, something like that, and I'm a little history buff, and I'm like, looked it up. I'm like, yeah, Colmar Pocket was the Battle of the Bulge, and I brought that up to him, and his eyes lit up. He's like, Pocket, that's it. Wow. Like, like he knew, like he's had this since he could talk. And I saw my son before he was born, Wow. He always told my wife that he chose us.
Wow. I think we do. I think we choose our parents.
I'd had a vision of being in a spear type battle. And this name Kronos came up, and what the heck is this? And then I researched it, and there had been this battle on a Greek island called Kronos.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's time.
I've had two very vivid past life dreams of my own that convinced me that, I think I've always known, that exists. Like I said, consciousness is internal. We go on, and we're much more than the ego we think we are.
Right.
Oh. And right now in LightNet, we're helping people to find their purpose. We're helping people to find that thing that you remember. A lot of people remember before they're 7. Like, I was obsessed with time. And I think all of LightNet is being built for me to at least retreat down to the basement and do the time lab. But it's like, so we're actually actively, that's our curiosity lab right now that we're launching really hard right now, is the purpose lab. Because when we live in purpose and when we're following our path, like you doing this show, all of a sudden the miracles start happening.
You're in
meet
the
right
zone.
people, doors open,
Flow.
things that you did. Right, exactly. And flow is one of our top responses. As we interview, so we've interviewed, Adam and I and a bunch of other people got together. We interviewed 120 people. And this weekend, we're actually starting our first lab, and it's called Awaken the Dragon. And it's getting you to know yourself by releasing the things that make you mad. So not releasing them, but looking at where's your rage? What makes you mad?
The true origin.
And where do you want to be set free? So in order to know yourself, you set yourself free to be yourself. And then you say, well, what is coming from me? What is mine to do? What is my gift? What is my curiosity? What is my flow? And so we're doing a whole weekend, this weekend, Awaken Your Dragon, to get people through astrology, through different meditations, to get people down to that moment. And when you find your purpose and your calling and your passion in life, magic happens. I can tell you that much.
Oh, yeah.
Synchronicities happen. And you stop becoming sick. Sometimes I think all sickness is in part because they're like, don't mess this up. You want to live your life before you die. Well, we don't die, but you know what I mean? It's like, it's like do your thing, because only you know your thing.
You get sick when you're not in the flow, you're saying, like when you're not in the service that you attended for. It's a wake-up call.
Right. And we interviewed Tim Kelly, who does research on how to get leaders, organizations, and even countries to find their purpose. And his method is to contact God, a tree, Buddha, whoever is your higher thing, and contact them and get the information clear, straightened up. He has 40 questions to make sure you're talking to God or the universe or whoever Buddha, whatever you're talking to. And I started doing that. He's like, the fastest way to do it is automatic writing. You get a blank sheet of paper and you write your name, Jason, and you say, what is my purpose? And you wait for the answer. You write whoever, if it's for you is God, if it's for whatever, right? You write the response. Then you ask the next question. And I was getting really cool responses that I couldn't have made up. And I was like, huh. And he's like, that's one of your clues that you've had made that connection with. And he said, you can use your sister on the other side. You can use whoever you want, but they can't be in your physical reality. It's an internal question that you know the answer to right now. And when you answer that question and when you get together with other like-minded people on Paranormal Soup or on LightNet or wherever, you can do that. You can live your calling. And that's your gift, is to be happy. That's what we all want. And you can do it. And I'm here to believe in you. We believe in you. I believe in you. Because I've had to believe in myself when no one else believed in me, and it worked. So I can tell you right now, you can do it, even if you're the only one that believes in yourself.
Yeah, the dream machine's real. It's a real
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Like I said, that was the title of the story I wanted to write, was The Dream Machine. That's why you guys said that. What did Adrian say here before he goes? She says, I feel energized for the spoon bending ritual. Is that normal?
Oh, absolutely.
I get so amped I can't go to bed sometimes. You know, the first times because my brain broke, and I was just like, my brain was like, this is what? Wait a minute, what? And now, we just get, because you share energy. We're sharing energy. We're all bending the spoons together. And we're probably getting energy from other sides, but it's like, it's fun. It's like you get curious about, well, wait a minute. If I can bend the spoon, get the rice thing. So we're doing rice experiments right now. And we did it with my kids' preschool. So where Emoto did it, and you say, I hate you, and it rots. You say, I love you, and this is ignore. So
They've done that experiment with plants. They've proven that it does affect them. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's your intention.
Even
it's the
water
words you use. It's what you want to happen. It's what you believe will happen. It's what you expect to happen. It's what you allow to happen. And this is physical reality. These radios, these spoons, that rice, that's physical reality. It's measurable. And we invite you guys all to start blooming stuff. Start seeing purple cars tomorrow, or whatever you choose to, or this,
You
the
start
person.
simple. You just start simple, and you get the pattern, and you what you really realize from blooming is that you're not going to hurt anybody. You kind of get past the initial scaring yourself.
You got to take baby steps before you
It's
can
a
walk.
baby step, and then you can say, eventually you'll say, well, let's have something I really would like to have, and see what happens.
And I can tell you that I'm thinking of there's a stone, a crystal, that you put a black light on and it's a gray stone that glows blue, exactly like she was talking about tonight. And it's magical. It's like, I'm like, how does this stone exist? Like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like a tropical fish. Like, who invented this? This is so cool.
Green butterflies.
Yeah, green butterflies. We started, we started blooming things that didn't even exist, like green butterflies. And then they started to exist even in South America. My friend.
Maybe you guys have the stone. Maybe it's a synchronicity. Maybe you got her stone.
It's
maybe
fun.
before time's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very unusual stone, and it's cool.
Jamie's got one up there that glows with black light.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, you can tell it glows even in the camera.
You can. It's coming through.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Sure, my wife does too. We are out of time. That is it, man. I really had so much fun with you guys. We got to do this again.
Yes, we had a great time. Thanks.
Definitely stay in touch, because I am so interested in what you guys are doing. Like I said, you're definitely living the dream on the dream machine there. What I would want to do, because I'd love to be doing. Like I said, when I was in grade school, I got picked on and called mad scientist for a reason, because I always wanted to do all kinds of crazy stuff with consciousness. So keep doing it. It's awesome, and I can't wait to see what you guys do. But that is it for the show, guys. Next Sunday is Father's Day. I don't know if I'll have a show yet, because I'm probably going to be spending it that night with boys. But we'll be back the following week. I got more guests scheduled, and we're going to do some more open lines. I will work on reviewing these phone calls we got from Gary, Adrian, Aziriana. Thank you for your calls tonight. I will try to get time to review those in the next several weeks, and I will post the videos of what I can hear response-wise that we got. We got some responses. It was definitely saying Ben, 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 Ben. I swear this spoon's gotten straighter because it was more curved. I don't know. We'll see. I'll leave it here tonight, see what happens. I'll let you guys know if it does. Thank you so much, Adam, Zenka. You guys were amazing. Definitely got to get you back on the show. Have a great night, guys. See you next Sunday. Have a great week.